Mellow bass screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beasts make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rivals on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Rivals on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skins twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straight we fly. Nitrous things pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game's flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah! Mellow bass screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beasts make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rivals on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Rivals on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skins twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straight we fly. Nitrous things pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah!
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in. As we get ready to rock and roll, we get ready to set these drivers loose. A amazing night of racing action about to come right at you here in just a few more moments, as it is the JS Design 201 here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. As it is a very beautiful night to support all of the troops here in the Memorial Day race here for the Metalheads Truck Series. All these drivers sporting some very beautiful paint schemes. You see that Mission 22, number 46 ride out there on the racetrack is Skylar Berry looking to try to lay down a great lap time. First lap, he jumps up into 21st. We'll see if he tries to go for lap number 2. Does not look like it. Looks like that's where he will line up here this evening. We haven't seen Jason Steptoe, Joe Bennett, or Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. slide out there onto the racetrack, as right now it is Matthew Catania. Catania with that quick time here in qualifying. Colton Hardy, Michael Madden, Rooster Rodden, and then we see Daniel Down, Nick Gardner, Matt Hayden, Clinton Woodby, Nathan Nixon, and Mark Beverly. Our top 10 getting ready to go to battle, getting ready to duke it out here in this one as drivers get lined up here on the front straightaway down on pit road. There you see Colton Hardy, that beautiful QH Designs, the Thank You Veterans machine out there on the racetrack. Michael Madden in the Sparkle and Shine number 15 ride. He's there in third. Rooster Rodin in the beautiful, it's Morphin Time, the Power Rangers paint schemed number 01 out there in fourth right now, ready for this start of the feature event. Daniel Dow, another Sparkle and Shine race car out there on the racetrack. He'll start there in fifth. He's outside in the Napa Auto Parts number 27. It's Nick Gardner. Matt Hayden will start in seventh with the Goldberg 92 of Clinton Woodby to his outside. Nathan Nixon there in position number 9 to his outside in the beautiful Asheville Outlaws Racing number 13 machine. It's Mark Beverly. Starting in position number 11 in the Boston Web Marketing number 7, it is Brett Summers to his outside. That is the Ridge Power Sports KR Gutters ride of John Herbert. Starting in position number 13 in the 48 will be Grayson McKee to his outside in this T4R ride. It's Keith Prince who will start there in 14th. Nate Cogdell in that Sonographic Designs Weld Racing 00 ride. He'll start there in 15th with Nicholas Lawrence in the Old Spice 8 ride to his outside. Coop Reed there in 17th here in this one to his outside in the beautiful Fleet Pride Truck and Trailer Parts number 133. It's Ashley Ellison Jr. there in 18th. Joshua Moore in the Muleburger Custom Homes number 51. Beautiful looking ride out there on the racetrack for Joshua Moore here this evening, as well as he sports that number 51 down in 19th and running at our top 20. And another beautiful looking paint scheme out there is that Turbo HP machine, the Sonographic Designs Majulse Speed Shop 196. It's Caleb Kleinert. Kleinert will start there in 20th. Starting in 21st, it is Skylar Berry in that Mission 22, number 46, right to his outside in the Storm Sim Performance 96 is Charles Gettings. Starting in position number 23, we will see Dylan Post. Then we see Bruce Bernard, Joe Bennett, Jimmy Fitzmaurice in the Guinness Beer number 33 ride. And then we do see Jason Steptoe in that 50 ride back there in 27th. And it looks like Paul Ferdinandi, who was supposed to start a little farther forward here in that World Series of Poker ride, missed the start of this race just by a couple seconds there. And unfortunately, we'll have to start from down on pit road. As here we go. We are in formation and we are ready to fly here in this one as these drivers ready to try to lay down some great laps and looking to try to put themselves into a position to pick up the checkered flag here today, as each and every one of them ready to duke it out, ready to go to battle. As I'm trying to think of who G is. Who is G? Is that Grayson McKee potentially? There it is, Grayson McKee in that Jimmy Johnson Cold Bull ride. Or I'm not sure who the other G is. Says, in case you wanted to shout out, my paint is dedicated to SSG Edward Marie. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Marie, who's I served with. All right. I'm not sure who G is, but man, I hate Discord and how they don't give everyone's full names. That is absolutely driving me wild. As here we go, ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle here in this one, as these drivers ready to duke it out, as I do believe potentially, is that Barry? Donkey Barry. Not sure. That's the big question, chat. Who is G in Discord? To any of the drivers that may be watching right now, if you know who G is in Discord, let me know. I'm pretty sure it's Skylar Berry. It is definitely Skylar Berry. Doc, yes, Skylar Berry. Okay, Skylar Berry's paint scheme here. A tribute to one of the gentlemen that he served with in the U.S. Army. So a huge shout out there to him for being able to jump in and give us that shout out. Looking to see this beautiful looking ride. As there we go, you do see the, I believe I want to get this right, the SSG. I don't want to get it wrong. Now I gotta have to try to memorize that. As yeah, the SSG Edward Marie, who he served with here, riding on that car, a tribute paint scheme here, and dedicated to SSG Sergeant Edward Marie who he served with here this evening, man. That is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love that. Love the paint scheme, love that ride, and love what Mission 22 is all about. We're about to see what all these drivers are about here this evening as the pace truck makes that hard left-hand turn back down pit road. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You came here for a show. Well, here you go as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here at the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway. Matthew Catania leads us down through corner number 1, and out of 2 looks like he'll slide up and clear that 97 ride of Colton Hardy. Hardy, though, right to his back bumper. We saw a lot of absolutely amazing racing here at Charlotte last night. We're right back here at Charlotte, up in the broadcast booth and putting on another good show, and hopefully we see some of the same crazy racing that we saw last night. Now, hopefully not as many caution flags, but nonetheless, we hope to see that non-stop 2 wide, 3 wide, a little bit of 4 wide battling out there on the racetrack, and drivers just battling hard lap after lap after lap, as that's the racing that we see getting produced from the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway here this weekend. As Matthew Catania out in front, but it may not be for long, as here comes Colton Hardy. Hardy right down to the inside there, door to door, down through 3 and 4 is the 97 rider. Hardy looking to take that race lead away down across the line. It's too close to call right there, but back down into 1, looking for a big run is that number 97. Hardy looking to try to take that race lead away from the Sweet Victory Apparel, Majula State Speed Shop, number 318 machine, and Catania, unfortunately, he's just trying to hang on to the top spot, looking to try to find a little extra gear up here, trying to roll that middle groove, hoping to carry that momentum and keep himself out in front of the 97 right, showing some muscle here early in this race, battling still door to door, back down across the line. Catania almost gets him cleared down back into corner number 1 here, but he is still right there. Some great racing here at the front of the field as Rooster Rodden right there, as well as Rodden looking to try to jump up here and join that battle at the front of the field, as Catania finally going to clear that 97 right. He's going to keep himself right down to the inside of the racetrack, as now you do see Catania. He's down low, and Colton Hardy now trying the outside groove. He saw what 318 was able to do from the middle groove, and now he's looking to try to mirror that and see if he can find that extra speed, and now he banks it up and off the outside fence. Pretty good contact right there for Colton Hardy as the QH Designs ride. That winning bid diecast and card pulling number 97 ride, unfortunately got a big piece of that wall, looking to try to get that run, looking to try to carry that momentum down through corner 1 and 2, and unfortunately got that door closed by the 318, and Hardy got a piece of that fence, and now he's got Rooster Rodden right there with him, looking to try to take position number 2 away. Daniel Dow back there in 4th with Michael Madden in 5th. Nathan Nixon, another one of those sparkle and shine race cars, quickly working his way up and through the field here as he's got that 40 ride of 3 spots on the racetrack, and now sits right behind a pair of his teammates out there on the speedway. Matt Hayden in that Razor Sonic Graphic Designs number 5 ride there in 7th. Nick Gardner in the Napa Auto Parts number 27. He's back in position number 8 as the 7 ride of Brett Summers right there behind him. Grayson McKee in that beautiful Jimmy Johnson paint scheme truck rolling there in position number 10, trying to keep Joshua Moore back there at bay, as right now Moore is our hard charger out there on the speedway. That Muhlenberger Custom Homes number 51 ride already up 8 positions and looking to try to crack his way inside the top 10 here this evening. As that Muhlenberger Custom Homes machine rolls here up and through corner number 3 and out of 4. They'll click off another lap as one driver we don't see here tonight that we normally see every single week out there on the racetrack. Is not very often that we see him missing a race. It's Kevin Winker. No K-Dub out there on the racetrack. What in the world? What has happened to Kevin Winker? Not very often we see K-Dub miss a race, but here tonight he is not out there on the racetrack. A heartbreaker there for him, as we do see John Herbert trying to keep on moving forward as he rolls there in 12th. Nate Cogdell, Nicholas Lawrence, our top 14 with Clayton Woodby falling back 7 spots early in this race, now back into 15. Mark Beverly also down 6 positions. Right behind him here is the Asphalt Outlaws truck. All of a sudden finds himself back in 16th with Dylan Poss. Charles getting Skylar Berry there in that beautiful Mission 22, number 46 ride, now in 19th on the racetrack. Jimmy Fitzmaurice up 7 spots, rolling there in 20 with Caleb Kleiner. Ashley Ellison Jr., Jason Steptoe, Joe Bennett in the 05, that 17 machine, the Florida Gators ride right there. That is Bruce Bernard in this battle, trying to join these guys up here for a good fight just outside our top 20. Keith Prince all the way back in 26 here, down 11 spots early in this race. Paul Ferdinandi, he's back there in 27th. Then we see Coop Reed. Unfortunately, Coop had to make a pass-through penalty here to start this race. And for the 14 ride, he does find himself now the first driver 1 lap down. And he's really hoping to see a caution flag out there on the racetrack, as we do see Colton Hardy starting to slide back a little bit more here. Hardy now back into position number 4. He'll be looking for more, but I think that contact into the outside fence may have really hurt this ride. May have all of a sudden made this thing really, really tight out there on the racetrack. It seems like he's pushing a little bit. Unfortunately for Colton, he is not just can't carry the speed that he had in the opening handful of laps, and unfortunately now going to lose another position, maybe even 2, as Michael Madden goes around him now, opens up the door down low for Nathan Nixon. Nixon going to try to take position number 5 away from him now on the racetrack in those Anything EC Sparkle and Shine rides, now trying to jump all 3 of them up inside the top 5 on the racetrack. Matt Hayden not too far back as well, same with that 7 ride of Brett Summers. Grayson McKee and the 51 of Joshua Moore now both join the top 10, as we do see Nick Garner unfortunately slide outside the top 10 now on the racetrack as Moore down low looking to clear the 48 ride, looking to keep on driving his way to the front of the pack. Is right now he's up 10 positions, rolling in position number 9 on the racetrack. He is a man on a mission here this evening, that Muhlberger Custom Homes number 51. But out in front, it's still Matthew Catania. Catania continuing to lead the way here in that Majulse Speed Shop Sweet Victory Apparel number 318 machine. As Rooster rode in there in position number 2 in that Power Rangers ride. He's looking to find a little bit of that Power Ranger luck here this evening and hoping to put himself into the victory lane here this evening. Is Michael Madden there in 3rd. Daniel Dow and Nathan Nixon, our top 5 out there on the racetrack. Colton Hardy there in 6th with Matt Hayden, Brett Summers, Grayson McKee, and Joshua Moore now rounding out our top 10 as Moore slides back in behind the 48 ride of Grayson McKee. Now here comes that 27 of Nick Garner. Garner trying to battle back down low here, and here comes Nick Cogdell as well. Cogdell, that beautiful Sonic Graphic Designs 0-0 machine. Beautiful paint scheme here on that car as well this afternoon, as a lot of these drivers had a little bit of a contest here on who had the best looking paint scheme here for the Memorial Day race here this evening. Now, I'm not 100% sure on who ended up winning that, but let's see if we can take a look here, as looks like it is Colton Hardy. Looked like Hardy ended up winning that poll, so good shout out right there to Colton Hardy. Obviously, beautiful looking truck. Had a great start to this race, made that contact with the outside fence, and unfortunately for the 97 ride is sliding backwards out there on the racetrack. And this thing is definitely very, very fresh looking, man. This thing is very, very beautiful out there on the racetrack. See another good look at it here. Get a little bit of a look at the front end right there, and a little bit of the rear end here on this QH Designs Thank You Veterans machine as he's rolling out there on the racetrack. You see the number, I believe that is the 51 of Joshua Moore right there on his back bumper, as unfortunately Moore starting to slide backwards here, and Moore ends up going down and around here right behind this number 97 machine, and that will bring out the caution flag. So our first caution flag here this evening on lap number 16 here today, as you see him kind of get stacked up here behind Hardy. Hardy still having some issues here with that number 97 right. Gets up into the fence again. The 51 has to get checked up. Grayson McKee does not realize it. Ends up hooking him right there, making some contact with the 87 machine, the Ridge Power Sports ride of John Herbert. Herbert ends up getting a little contact into that. Obviously a little bit of damage there to that 51 ride as well. Is definitely a good break for the 97 as he needed to get that truck repaired. He was going to continue to keep on falling farther and farther back as he gets up into the fence again. More damage dealt to that full throttle machine as he ends up trying to slide up, trying to keep himself out of trouble. The 51 trying to get checked up, trying to not spin the 97 right around, and unfortunately gets taken out himself here as he makes that contact there with John Herbert, then still losing the handle of it down out of corner number 4. Finally goes around, and that does bring our first caution flag of the day out. So our first yellow flag, and it's for that number 51 machine there going around as you get a good look right there. Beautiful looking paint scheme here for the Hugh H Design full throttle winning bid 97 machine as Colton Hardy. I really like this paint scheme. I'm not a huge fan with the inner circle of the 9 in the number. That one I'm not a huge fan of. It seems hard to see that middle part. I mean, you can see it a little bit, but if it was kind of white or match that kind of Campbell white underneath of it, I think it would probably look actually even better, even more fresh out there. But it's still looking beautiful, man. Still a great looking paint scheme here on that truck, and definitely deserving of the win of the contest here this year for our Memorial Day race out there on the racetrack. Is that Thank You Veterans ride very, very nice looking out there on the racetrack. Is Matthew Catania and a lot of these other drivers elected to not come down pit road. They stay rolling out there on the racetrack, and for some of these other drivers coming down pit side early on, we do see Nick Gardner, Mark Beverly, Clinton Woodby also down pit road. That number 11 of Dylan Poss right there with him. We did see Colton Hardy making that pit stop, trying to get that truck repaired. Jamie Fitzmaurice, Caleb Kleiner, Jason Steptoe, and everybody else back there behind him all coming down pit road. And unfortunately here for Ashley Ellison Jr. at the back of the pack, and for Joshua Moore still down pit road trying to get this car repaired. And a great break for Coop Reed right there, as Coop was the first driver one lap down. He will get the free pass, the lucky dog, and he will get himself back onto the lead lap here this evening. So a great break there for the 14 riders. He'll be able to continue to keep on battling here today as we'll get all these drivers stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. Is the green flag going to come out in just a few more moments, and drivers will continue to keep on battling, continue to get their elbows up out there on the speedway, as we should see the green flag come back out next time around here on lap number 20 here. So lap number 20 going to go into the history books. We will see that green flag come back out. So virtually about a 15-16 lap run right there, and then that yellow flag. So drivers not wanting to burn a set of tires early in this race, says Eric Hardy. Eric says, a little late, but I'm here, he says. Let's go, Eric. Mr. Hardy coming in, showing the love. How are you, brother? Eric coming in, showing the big love with the like on the stream. Denver Henderson, Play for Cheats, also coming in with those thumbs up on the broadcast as we go stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to battle here again in this one. It's Eric Hardy showing the love here, and unfortunately, Eric, you missed the action early on as Colton was battling, trying to take the race lead away, trying a different line, ended up smacking against, pancaking the outside fence down into corner number 1, ended up with some pretty sizable right front damage, started to fall farther and farther back there, and ended up getting into the wall. Part of that first caution flag as he kind of got checked up into the fence. Everyone behind him is trying to check up, except for the 48 ride, who ended up getting a piece of the 51 ride. And that spun, unfortunately, Joshua Moore around. Joshua was our hard charger out there on the racetrack. He was over 10 positions gained out there on the track, and unfortunately now he is back -2 here for this restart back in 21st. So we'll have to wait and see if he can drive his way back up through the field here in this one. As here we go, back to green flag racing as the 318 of Matthew Catania sees that green flag fly. So Catania quickly onto the loud pedal, looking to try to open up that race lead as the number 15 of Michael Mann able to slide right up in front of him here, as we do see the caution flag going to come right back out as some issues here on the restart. Look like Nicholas Lawrence potentially, and a few of these other drivers. Looks like someone may have spun their tires or trying to get a big jump here. Let's take a look at Grayson McKee as Grayson able to fire off here, and oh yeah, you see the 40 ride. That's kind of where this all gets started, and then everyone kind of just piles into it. Unfortunately, Grayson, John Herbert, the 8 ride, Skylar Berry, Mark Beverly, so many of these drivers on the front straightaway here ended up with some pretty solid damage. See them still racking here. The 17 ride turned the wrong direction there on the racetrack. Unfortunate right there for Bernard, and a lot of these other drivers, man, not the spot that they wanted to be. But let's take a look here at how this kind of got started. I'm not sure if the 40 of Nathan Nixon right here potentially just missed a shift or what happened here, as on the bottom right there, and 40 ride right there just looks like he shifts the trunk. It just kind of gets a little messy right there. Spins the tires, washes up the racetrack, and everyone trying to avoid him. Unfortunately, everyone just kind of sliding into it, and a lot of these drivers just getting absolutely demolished out there. See this contact for the 40 up into the outside fence. Pretty good contact for him there in this one, and so many other drivers. I do believe we're going to see 46 of Barry go around the 11 right of Dylan Poss, the 13 in there as well. We do see, oh man, Cooper Reed ends up getting some pretty good contact in there, and a lot of other drivers just able to get through there, or able to just get checked up enough to avoid it and try to keep themselves out of trouble. Let's see if we can take a look back and jump on board here with this 40 ride in here and see kind of what happens. And he switches gears right there. He just spins those tires, and then unfortunately everyone starts to stack up. He gets a little ran over, and he goes around, and a lot of these drivers all of a sudden end up with some very heavy damage on their rides here. Let's see if we can take a look from Grayson McKee's perspective here, as he's a little farther back. Let's see if we can take a look here at Grayson and see what he can see out there on the racetrack, because I know he was just trying to get back up to speed, continue battling here, and all of a sudden 40 ride, he kind of tries to go down low to avoid him, and unfortunately John Herbert's right there, and then they just all pile in, and oh man, that's tough, man. Very, very tough area for a lot of drivers to just try to navigate their way through it. Skylar Berry, another one of these drivers that gets into it here, gets some pretty solid contact. You're going to watch and see kind of what happens here to this Mission 22, number 46 ride. There's the spin, and there's the contact. Initially, he gets checked up, then gets ran over, then gets pushed down into Grayson, and ends up with some pretty good rear-end damage, front-end damage, and a lot of drivers tore up here, and unfortunately for a bunch of them, they are still looking to get repaired, still trying to get these cars back out there on the racetrack, because we do see Caleb Kleiner down coming back out onto the racetrack from pit road. Colton Hardy there as well. Paul Ferdinandi coming back down pit side here. So a lot of drivers, unfortunately, getting tied up, and cautions breeding cautions, as that will be our second caution flag of the day. Quickly there, as we didn't even make it back into corner number one before the yellow flag came back out. So we'll try it again here in this one, as Eric says, head down, chin up. A lot of racing left. Let's go, number 97, cheering on that 97 machine here today. And that's exactly it, man. A lot of racing left. A lot of time. Even if you were just tied up in that second caution flag and just got a bunch of damage, there was still a lot of laps. There was still a lot of time to try to navigate yourself back up through the field and into one of these battles, and try to put yourself into a position to still finish in a great spot here, or maybe even still find yourself up on the podium or in victory lane here this evening. Anything is possible out there on the racetrack, as we do see one driver down onto the apron here. It's the 11 right of Dylan Poss. I'm not sure what the idea was with that one, but nonetheless, he falls back in line in that Memorial Day number 11 machine, as he gets ready to go back to battle. Loving the American Eagle on that ride on the hood and the back end there, and has the patches there for all the different U.S. services there for the National Guard and Army, Navy, all that stuff on it, man. We love to see that. It's absolutely beautiful looking paint scheme out there on the racetrack as well. As here we go, the Metalheads Truck Series back to battle here in the JS Design 201 here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. As the 318 of Matthew Catania, another great restart, but here comes a pair of those sparkle and shine rides. Daniel Dow, Michael Madden right there, door, but here comes Matt Hayden. Down low, he's looking to try to take advantage of this restart, trying to slide forward another spot here, looking to see if he can make the pass on that 15 ride of Michael Madden. Madden gonna wash up the track there a little bit. Now he's clear, and he's gonna slide right up in front of the 15 truck, and now you see them still slicing and dicing, moving around out there on the speedway. No one's gonna give up an inch. Everyone looking to try to take what they can here on these restarts, and the caution flag will fly here once again. So caution flag is going to come out. I do believe that is for our stage break. So our stage break there in this one, that definitely, it's always fun seeing the stage breaks, but after a quick couple caution flags, that was a tough one right there. But for these drivers, they'll take it. They'll take those points as lap 25, our first stage, our only stage out there on the speedway, and now we'll see these drivers get lined up and ready to go back to battle once again. Possibly more pit stops for a lot of these other drivers. We did see a bunch of them come down pit road there during that first and that second caution. Unfortunately for a lot of them, they did not end up earning any points, but they should be able to leapfrog a lot of drivers, as we're going to see Catania probably come down pit road. Same with Matt Hayden, Daniel Dow, Michael Madden, Nate Cogdell, the 7 of Brett Summers, Charles Gettings, all yet to come down pit lane here, and I'm sure we're going to see our top 7 head down pit road, and that could hand the race lead over to Nick Gardner, as Gardner out in front here. He came down pit road there on lap 18, and obviously didn't use up any of those tires on that first run before the caution flag came back out. Didn't really have too many laps there before this stage came to a close, so not a whole lot of green flag laps on that 27 ride, and honestly probably about the same amount of laps as everyone else back there behind him, and even for some of these other drivers. But he does come down pit lane. I thought he'd take that track position, but looks like he's trying to stay on schedule with maybe some of these other drivers, and looks like he's headed back down pit road. Maybe not gonna get some gas into this 27 truck, making sure that he's got the fuel into this thing, making sure that if this is another long green flag run, that he can kind of stay on the same pit cycle with some of these other drivers that were battling there at the front of the field for that stage win, as Matthew Catania did win that stage. So the 318 machine, our pole sitter here this evening, and one of the fastest guys out there on the racetrack, obviously able to win that first stage of the day. And now we'll get them all lined up, ready to go back to green flag racing, as Clinton Woodby will now be our race leader. Jimmy Fitzmarie still in Poss. Joshua Moore, our top 4. The 0-1 of Rooster Rodden there in 5th with Joe Bennett, Nicholas Lawrence, Mark Beverly, Coop Reed, and John Herbert rounding out our top 10. As we'll get ready to go back to battle, we'll get ready to duke it out here once again here in this one, as ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for all these drivers. The amazing JS Design 201 sponsored race here, powered by the Metalheads Truck Series, and all these amazing drivers getting ready to go back to battle here for what is going to be our final stage of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. As we go back to green flag racing, lap 29 will be off the board here, meaning that we got about 105 laps of this race left to go here. Technically down to 105 laps left to go as we see that green flag come back out. Now for these drivers, it's going to mean a little bit of something here, as they're going to know that that could be a very long green flag run. We've seen these drivers have long runs, and we've seen them lay down, 100 laps without incidences out there on the speedway. Now Charlotte definitely produces a few more caution flags than a lot of these other racetracks, so it'll be interesting to see how long we can go before we see another caution flag, and if we're going to see green flag pit stops out there on the racetrack. And if we do see green flag pit stops, it's very, very tricky. It's a tough pit road to get down to, not have speeding penalties, and that is going to be the name of the game here in this final stage. It's trying to save those tires, trying to keep yourself put in the right direction, not getting tied up in any other issues, and also trying to make sure that if you do have to come down pit road, if you gotta make that green flag pit stop, that you don't make that mistake. You don't have that speeding penalty down pit road as Clinton Woodby leads us. Getting it into quarter number 2, the Goldberg ride out in front with Dylan Boss right there behind him. Joshua Moore trying to battle here with Jimmy Fitzmaurice for position number 3. Looks like Jimmy gonna walk up the racetrack right there. He's gonna lose a couple spots as there goes Joshua Moore and Rooster Rodden. Is Rodden gonna get right on by him? Here comes Nicholas Lawrence. A big run there for the Old Spice number 8 ride, and he's quickly trying to navigate his way around that 33. Mark Beverly, who got tied up in that unfortunately had some issues there during, the second caution flag there, and those issues got tied up in it. Ended up with some pretty good damage there on this number 13 Ryan. Here he is up inside the top 10, continuing to battle. Joe Bennett right there to his outside. Coop Reed on his back bumper. John Herbert still trying to battle here inside the top 10 as Ashley Ellison Jr. trying to take that 10th position away, trying to inch a little closer to the front of the field here. So we'll have to wait and see how quickly some of these other fast cats can navigate their way up and through the field. See Matt Hayden, Daniel Dow right there. They were the last drivers down on pit road here in this one. Same with the number 7 of Brett Summers. Nick Garner, who came down and got those a little bit of fuel into that 27 ride. Matthew Catania, who was our stage 1 winner, rolls there in position number 17. They're all trying to hopefully navigate their way through the traffic and trying to race their way back to the front of the field and trying to have that pit strategy work in their favor as Jeff McJeffrey. What's good, Jeff? Jeff coming in showing the love with that heart reaction. How are you, Jeff? Jeff coming in showing the love here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as Clinton Woodby continues to lead the way. Woodby out in front with Dylan Poss. They are in second. Moore hanging on to third right now, but Rooster putting his nose underneath him here, trying to get that beautiful Power Rangers ride back up inside the top 3, but we will see the caution flag come back out. So caution flag will fly here once again as it looks like the Boston Web Marketing number 7 ride here of Brent Summers. Unfortunately, looks like he's going to get tied up in this one. Him and the 17 get tied together there. I'm not sure what happened to Bruce Bernard, but that truck slow on the outside here. It unfortunately just gets ran over right there. Let's take a look at it as he sends it down into corner number 1. Kind of a bit of a different angle here for the 17 ride as the Florida Gators machine sends it in, takes that hard left-hand turn, trying to drive it down through the middle. Unfortunately, gets in there a little too hot, washes up the track and into the outside fence. He's on the binders, and unfortunately, Brent Summers could not get checked up quick enough. Some contact there for the 3 ride and 4. Brent Summers, he goes for a spin down through the infield grass in with that number 17 ride after the contact and damage. Unfortunately, he's going to end up going down in through the infield here as well. And for a couple of these drivers, man, getting tied up, tore up, and you do see some great driving right there. I'm not sure who that was. Was that Colton Hardy? Making a little bit of a couple moves down through the infield here. Let's take a look at Colton out there on the racetrack. I'm pretty sure it was Colton Hardy who ends up seeing this unfold in front of him. He gets some good time to be able to react and keep himself out of trouble, and he's going to end up going right through the roval. No, it's not him. Who ended up going through the roval here? That's who I wanted to see go through there. Man, whose car was that? They decided to go through the roval right here. 7 rides spinning out, but someone makes a hard left-hand turn. It's the 196 machine who ends up going through the road course portion of this racetrack. That is a bold move right there. Able to go through there, able to keep himself out of trouble. Let's see if we can play this one back and see kind of what he sees, and then just instantly getting onto the binders, getting down low, avoiding any of this contact and making that move as the issues in front of him, and he sees it happening, goes right down onto the apron and through the roval, the road course here at the dirt track at Charlotte area. Man, if we have this on the schedule, the road course here, the roval here at the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway, 196 right might be a threat there, man. He hit that corner pretty perfectly right there. I'm not going to lie. He kind of hit that and kept on going and didn't even blink an eye out there on the racetrack. So we'll have to wait and see. And we got the Roval on the schedule as here we go. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing as Clinton Woodby, Dylan Poss, our first and second place drivers out there on the racetrack. Joshua Moore there in third with Brewster Roden there in fourth. And then we see Jimmy Fitzmaurice, Joe Bennett, Nicholas Lawrence, Coop Reed, Ashley Ellison Jr., and John Herbert rounding out our top 10 as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. As we will get them door to door, ready to rock and roll, ready to rumble here again this evening. As that had to play the commercials there a little bit. As man, I had to sneeze right there so badly. I don't know if you guys got that at the end, but I was about to sneeze up a storm. Luckily enough, we were able to get it muted and not blow everyone's speakers out, and we were able to keep on rolling. We were able to keep on battling here in this one as Clinton Woodby, Dylan Poss 1 and 2, ready to see that green flag come back out after a slew of caution flags here. 3 quick caution flags early in this race. Now we do have less than 100 laps left to go here in this one. Still lots of time to battle, still lots of time to navigate yourself up and through the field here, but quickly these laps are going down and drivers know that they gotta be on their tippy toes, gotta make sure that they can hit their marks and keep themselves pointed in the right direction here this evening as we'll get them ready to rumble. We'll get them ready to roll here once again as there we go. Green flag back out into the air for the 92 is a great jump and a great restart there for Dylan Poss. Poss able to stay right there to his outside as they are door to door down into corner number 1. Woodby down low, potentially in that preferred line with the 11, trying to get that big run and the momentum down and out of corner number 2. Unfortunately, falls right back into line onto the back bumper of the 92, pushed him down the back straightaway. Now he's going to stay right with them, man. He's not going off the back bumper. They're kind of drafting here a little bit. Maybe just trying to hope that they can pull away from the rest of this field as you do see Rooster Roden. Rooster looking to try to take position number 3 away from Joshua Moore as they battle door to door right behind our race leaders. Joe Bennett there as well. He's looking to jump into that battle as unfortunately the 8 right early in this run, sliding back a couple spots here as Nicholas Lawrence just trying to hang on to that Old Spice number 8 run as there goes Coop Reed up and around him. We do see John Herbert and now Matt Hayden back inside the top 10. Out there on the racetrack is Hayden rolling there in the 10th position. Now he does have some of the freshest tires out of everyone else out there on the racetrack, and he's the top 1 inside of our top 10 with the fresher tires who came down pit road there on lap number 27, but we did see more drivers there coming down pit road during that last caution flag on lap 35. We saw Daniel Dow, we saw Michael Madden, we saw Grayson McKee, and a few of these other drivers make their way down pit side, again giving up that track position, but maybe trying to play that strategy game, maybe trying to have that extra little bit of fuel in the tank, maybe making these, green flag pit stops a little bit farther away, maybe trying to catch some of them a lap down and hoping for the best here this evening as we'll wait and see if we see some green flag laps here and maybe get a good run and see some green flag pit stops out there on the racetrack. You see Brett Summers back there, Caleb Kleiner, he came back down pit road there just before we went back to green flag racing. He scored back in position number 26, was down pit road on lap 36 here, so he's got at least 1 lap better fuel than everyone else out there on the racetrack after even everyone that came down pit road on lap 35. He's got that 1 extra lap. Is out in front, Clinton Woodby. Woodby continues to lead the way here in this one. Woodby out in front with Dylan Poss, Joe Bennett 1, 2, and 3 out there on the speedway with Joshua Moore. Coop Reed now looking to try to race his way up inside the top 5 as he rolls to the back bumper of the 51 is Joshua Moore, who continues to try to take that 3rd spot away from the 0-1 machine. Looks like he'll finally get that 0-1 is going to get around him, but unfortunately for both of those drivers, they actually lost that third and fourth position from Joe Bennett. Bennett, a man on a mission here. He is rolling up and through the field and now has that 0-5, sitting in position number 3. He's hoping to close that gap, trying to hunt down Clinton Woodby and Dylan Boss as they still battle and sitting those two tail out there on the racetrack in first and second here this evening. As Moore slides back into position number 5 as Coop Reed works himself around the 51. Ryan Rooster rode in right there as well as Ashley Ellison Jr. now in that 133. Ashley now around some of these other drivers, now up into position number 6. Nathan Nixon there in position number 8. Nixon is now the top driver with the pit strategy coming down pit road after the stage on lap 27. So he's got a little bit fresher tires than all the drivers around him. Back all the way to this number 5 ride of Matt Hayden, who's also down pit road there on lap 27. Daniel Dow was down pit road on lap number 35. He rolls there in the 12th position on the racetrack and still trying to keep on racing his way towards the front. Paul Ferdinandi right there with him with the 48. And Grayson McKee trying to work their outside here on the racetrack is John Herbert there ready at our top 15 on the racetrack. There we see Nate Cogdell and this 318 machine of Matthew Catania. Catania still on the outside of the top 15 here for our pole sitter. Looks like he's definitely struggling a little bit more now with that ride. Now that he's stuck back in traffic, doesn't have that fresh air on the nose of this 318 machine, and unfortunately just hasn't been able to really make any passes out there on the racetrack to try to edge his way a little closer back to the front of the field. Out in front, continuing to lead the way and continuing to try to have him and that number 11 ride pull farther and farther away from the rest of the field, but Joe Bennett is hunting them down. He's closed in about half a second on them over the last few laps, and for Bennett, he's just continuing to lay down some absolutely wicked fast lap times here. Last time around, he was still about 0.2 quicker than Clinton Woodby, a 10th quicker than that 11 ride, and he continues to inch closer and closer to them. But Nathan Nixon back here in position number 5 now. This 40 ride seems to be the fastest truck out there on the racetrack. Him and Grayson McKee making some great lap times here, and they continue to work themselves a little closer to the front of the field as Grayson up into position number 10 here as you see the 0-1. A Rooster rode in, unfortunately sliding a little farther back here in that 0-1 ride, and unfortunately for a few of these other drivers, they're also on the backslide here. The pit strategies, the tire strategies, everything else going to play a major factor potentially in this race, especially if we see it go clean and green for quite a while, not even calculating in those green flag pit stops where we can see a bunch of drivers unfortunately end up with pit road speeding penalties, as this is a track that tends to get a lot of pit road speeding penalties out there on the racetrack. Oh, we're going to go a little monster into us right there. Check it, that caffeine flowing as there you go. You do see the 11 rider, Dylan Boss, now trying to hold off that 40 rider, Nathan Nixon, as Nixon has found himself a way around Joe Bennett. So we made quick work there of Bennett, and Coop Reed now finds himself in position number 3, and he may not be done yet. Continuing the battle towards the front here, making the move around Dylan Pawson, now into second out there on the racetrack. And for the 40 ride, he is a man on a mission right now, looking for that race lead as quickly gets to the outside of the 92 ride. Able to carry that speed, all that momentum, and everything else down the back straightaway. Looks like he'll pull just a little bit out in front over the nose of that 92 of Clayton Woodby. Now Woodby going to try to battle back strong here through corner 3 and 4, but down across the line, we will see 50 laps completed here in this race, and Nathan Nixon will lead the 50th lap here this evening, and Nixon now out in front as the 40 ride leads this race. Sarah Nixon in the chat says, "Get it, number 40." Cheered on Nathan out there on the speedway, and right now he is getting it. He's getting some out there, and he is continuing to battle his way out there on the racetrack, and now hoping to try to maybe pull away here, but maybe just trying to play it smart. Maybe try to roll off the throttle here, maybe keep that gap between himself and Clinton Woodby a couple truck lengths, and maybe try to save a little tire here until somebody else comes up and shows him that they got the speed to beat him here today. That's probably the best game plan out there on the racetrack. Try to save. Hope that you have tires late in this run And once somebody starts to put that pressure back on you, once somebody tries to move back around you, you just put that hammer down and hopefully have a little bit better tire than they do and just continue to pull away once again out there on the racetrack. As you do see the 92 hang up right there with them, but Nixon just trying to play this cat and mouse game, trying to keep that gap there, a couple truck lengths between himself and the 92 as Dylan Poss back in third. See Joe Bennett there in fourth and Coop Reed still rounding out our top five as Ashley Ellison Jr. there in sixth. Grayson McKee there in seventh with Jimmy Fitzmaurice back in eighth, trying to battle here with Rooster Rodin is Rodin right there in that ninth position, and Joshua Moore, who restarted up in third, now finds himself back rounding out our top 10 on the racetrack as the Eagleburger Custom Homes number 51 machine rolls there in that 10th position. Brett Summers there in 11th with Daniel Dow. Matt Hayden, the 15 of Michael Madden there in 14th with Nate Cogdell running out our top 15 on the Speedway. As Matthew Catania still minor back here just inside the top 15, and there are 4 wide on the racetrack. 4 wide racing here as you see Joe Bennett end up into the outside fence there. Empty contact for that 0-5 rider for Bennett, who's having such a great run. And the 0-5 up inside the top 3 there on the racetrack. And unfortunately now for the Body Armor 0-5 ride, he rolls all the way back in 26. Nicholas Lawrence there in 27th, and Bruce Bernard, he's unfortunately off the racetrack, already taking that Florida Gators machine down and out of this race. Heartbreaker there for him in this race here this afternoon. Is definitely not the early exit that Bruce wanted to have here in this one. As Nathan Nixon out in front continues to lead the way, now starting to open up a bit of a gap between himself and the rest of the field. About 9/10 of a second back, you do see this 92 Riders. He's got a pretty sizable distance between himself and the 92 now, and now there's a big gap over a second all the way back to our third place driver, the 133 of Ashley Ellison Jr. able to take that third spot away, and here comes Reed, Grayson McKee right there. Brent Summers now up into 6th. Jimmy Fitzmaurice there in 7th as Grayson and Brent Summers both down pit road there on lap number 35. So they're on the throttle a little bit more here and continue to try to race their way, navigate their way to the front of the field for some of these other drivers. They're trying to rebound here. As you do see Matthew Catania finally able to work himself now into the 13th position. He's got a gaggle of cars right there in front of him. 113 and 11 right of Dylan Poss. Unfortunately, after being right there in position number 2 for so many laps, the 11th line now falling backwards here. Now sits back in that 12th position. Got a couple of fast trucks right to his outside. And here he comes. Looks like he's headed down pit road, and he is headed down pit side. So a bit of a weird one right there, and he's got to be very careful. Do not want to get a pit road speeding penalty here this evening, and that may have been a very close call there for Dylan Poss. As you see him and Jimmy Fitzmaurice both head down pit road here, so some pit strategy being played out. We do see Dylan, unfortunately, miss his pit stall there ever so slightly, has to back that truck up. Going to lose a second or two out there on the speedway, just waiting for the crew to start doing that work, and there we go. There goes our race leaders up and around them here as they both go a lap down out there on the racetrack, and now really having to hope that we don't see another caution flag and potentially have this race, the under yellow, trap them back there a lap or down, and the spot that they want to be in. Hoping to see this one kind of cycle all the way through as Nathan Nixon continues to lead the way. Clinton Woodby there in second. Ashley Ellison Jr. up into third with Grayson McKee. Brent Summers there are top 5. Coop Reed, Rooster Rodin, and now we do see Clinton Woodby gonna come down pit road. So our second place driver also heading down pit side here. Oh man, this is an interesting one. Some interesting pit stops here shortly after we saw that caution flag, and drivers headed down pit side on lap 35. We see these guys now heading down pit road just around lap number 60 here this evening. So strategy, man. This is how it all plays out. This is how these drivers try to navigate their way into victory lane. And for the 96, the crew is going to work trying to get this car back out there onto the racetrack. He is going to go a lap down and pitting early here. He's going to have the better tires. He's going to have some luck on his side here, and it may draw more drivers potentially down pit road as these fresh tires are going to be super fast. And we do see Joe Bennett down pit road here. We do see Nicholas Lawrence now headed down down pit side as well in the 8 ride as Clinton Woodby and some of these drivers that came down pit road on the last couple laps here, man. They're looking to try to just battle back up through the field as we do see Dylan Foss right now. Dylan is running virtually about a second and a half quicker than the drivers at the front of the field right now. So he is blazing fast out there on the racetrack with the fresher tires, and unfortunately, as this race kind of goes on and as drivers start to head down pit side, he's going to continue to have these fresh tires, going to be able to continue to keep on running some great laps. And what that's going to do is it's just going to leapfrog him virtually in front of everybody else. So we're going to see drivers kind of making these big strategy calls, these big swings, and sometimes they're hits, sometimes they're misses. We'll have to wait and see how it kind of plays out for these early pitters here this evening. We do see Cooper Reed now down pit side. So Cooper Reed heads down pit road as well in the 14 ride. So another driver making that additional pit stop. We've now seen Cooper Reed, Clinton Woodby, Dylan Post, Jimmy Fitzmaurice, Paul Ferdinandi, Joe Bennett, and Nicholas Lawrence all come down pit road making those green flag pit stops here this evening early in this race as you see the 92 truck of Clinton Woodby. He was at the front of the field there before coming down pit road, and now he's already working himself through some of this traffic. And now that is going to slow him down ever so slightly, trying to pass some of these guys. It may be able to kind of save him a little tire out there, having to check up a little bit more for these other drivers. But really right now he's hoping to just try to get some clean racetrack. And as he does, everyone else out there are going to be falling farther and farther back behind him. As we do see someone going around, I do believe that's Daniel Dow. Dow goes around, the caution flag will come out, and then it's going to trap so many drivers. A lap down out there on the racetrack. We did see Ashley Ellison Jr. down pit side, Rooster Road, and also down pit road, and John Herbert making their pit stops here. So we'll have to wait and see how that kind of gets lined up, as our race leader has been around all three of them, potentially going to have them a lap down out there on the racetrack. I'm not sure how iRacing is going to score that, as I do believe the caution flag came out as they were still on the lead lap, but being down pit road, it may force them to stay out there and to wait and see. It looks like maybe they're getting a wave around, maybe they're trying to drive back around our race leader, but that's going to give a lot of these drivers at the front of the field a free opportunity to come down pit side, and a lot less drivers that are going to be able to pass them here. Now for those guys that did come down pit road, for some of them they could be in that free pass position, the lucky dog out there, so Clinton Woodby could get the lucky dog out there on the speedway and back onto the lead lap that way. But for drivers like John Herbert, Dylan Poss, Jimmy Fitzmaurice, Cooper Reed, Paul Ferdinandi, Joe Bennett, Nicholas Lawrence, they're all going to be looking to take that wave around, and unfortunately they do have some good green flag laps on their car, on their tires, and couldn't really use that pit cycle to their advantage there, as we do see everyone else that was still out there on the lead lap all come down pit road. Everyone down pit side except for this 92 ride of Clinton Woodby, but Woodby is going to get the lucky dog, the free pass back onto the lead lap, so great break there for him. And for everyone else, they're going to be looking for those wave arounds. We do see these guys down pit road. Nathan Nixon was our race leader at the time of the caution flag, and here he is rolling back out onto the racetrack still as our race leader. Grayson McKee will come out in second, with Brett Summers there in third. Skylar Berry, Matt Hayden are top 5. Matthew Catania coming out in 6th with Colton Hardy. Charles Gettings, Nick Gardner, and Michael Madden are top 10 out there on the racetrack, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one, as we edge right there to our halfway marker here this evening. About to be halfway in and halfway to go here this evening, as lap number 67 will get clicked off the board probably when we go back to green flag racing, as this is lap 66. Lap 66 about to go into the history books here in the JS Design 201 here from the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway. As down across the line, we will see some drivers getting those wave arounds. We'll see other drivers start to get stacked up here, as I should see the lights go off the official iRacing pace truck here, and that will give us the 1 to go, and we will get ready to go back to battle here. So the 40 of Nixon, the number 48 of Grayson McKee in position number 2, as you do see some of these other drivers hoping to get that wave around and back onto the lead lap here. We haven't seen it as of yet. We'll have to wait and see There it is. There they go. They are getting the wave around now. They are all getting back on the lead lap. Here they come down the back straightaway, putting the power down, looking to try to catch up to the rear of the field before we go back to green flag racing. Some of them took a little bit more time to get back down there and around, and we did see the 0-5 of Joe Bennett actually come back down pit side here. Same with Joshua Moore. Jason Steptoe also coming back down pit road. So some drivers making some extra pit stops here late in this race. Maybe trying to stretch out that fuel here this evening, and every single drop may make that difference to put yourself up into victory lane. As the 40 of Nathan Nixon, the 48 of Grayson McKee are front row, ready to go back to battle, ready to duke it out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. As this lap coming to a close will be our halfway marker. So as we go back to green flag racing, we'll be halfway in and halfway to go here in this one. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what I want you guys to do is, nope, we're going to get one more lap. Lights are back on the official iRacing pace truck. So one more lap here this evening before we go back to battle. So it's going to be halfway here, down across the line. We are officially right there, halfway through this race. Halfway through this race, ladies and gentlemen, and when we see this race end in another 67 laps, it is going to be potentially the same cats here at the front of the field, or potentially we could see a bunch of different drivers up here duking it out for that race win. It could be late race restarts, could be green-white checkers and NASCAR overtimes here this evening. We can't tell the future, but I can tell you right now, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a heck of a show. It's going to be some great battling, 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide, maybe even a little 5 wide out there on the racetrack, as drivers will be trying to navigate their way to the front of the field here in this one. As it looks like this time the lights will stay off the official iRacing pace truck, and that means we will get the cue to go back to green flag racing. It's nice and easy down the back straightaway. Each and every one of these drivers, they can feel that intensity starting to ramp up. It's starting to ramp up out there on the racetrack. They know that if another issue or another couple caution flags, potentially putting them into a situation where fuel mileage could really start to become a major factor here for drivers to try to hit their marks and try to win this race on the fuel mileage alone, or potentially just trying to time up when to use these fresh tires. Here we go. Just over halfway in and halfway to go here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to jump into our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers here this evening as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming as we go back to Green Flag Racing. Alrighty, there is our caution flag. The crank it up caution flag is going to fly here in this one, as we did see another driver with an issue out there on the racetrack, as we saw the number 48 ride get up into the outside fence right there. Grayson McKee, let's take a look back and see what happens here to him, as some pretty solid contact. Looks like he just a little 3 wide. He's already up against the fence here through corner number 3 and 4. This is the lap beforehand here for the 48, is that Cobalt Lowe's number 48 sends it down into 3 and 4, gets up into the fence right there. Unfortunately, scrubs that wall, gets some pretty sizable damage. All of a sudden, they go 3, almost 4 wide right there. They start bouncing off each other, and unfortunately for Grayson, gets up into the fence again and again and again, and now he's just stuck in there as everyone else storms down and around him here. He doesn't want to drive down in front of him and down through corner number 1 and 2. He's just stuck here on that fence, just trying to keep himself out of everyone else's way, hoping that no one else gets collected in this chaos. And luckily enough, he is able to get that car rolling, and luckily enough, the caution flag does come out where he doesn't have to stress a little bit too much, as we did see there. And during this crank it up, this 97 ride, man, went for a heck of a ride. I don't know how this thing stayed, together and kept on rolling out there, as, man, he was airborne. He was flying through the sky here. Somehow or another, lands back on all fours. He blinks a little bit right here, and I think that's really what starts it. As the 27 ride, Nick Gardner didn't really know where he was, and all of a sudden ends up right inside of him right there. They make contact. Around goes the 97 up the racetrack, and then goes over the nose here of Charles Gettings' ride. Heavy damage there for Gettings. Good damage for the number 15 of Michael Madden as well. But look at that truck almost going airborne right there, and that QH Designs winning bid. NASCAR diecast and card breaks 97 ride goes for a wild one here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and then goes down through the infield there, doing a little landscaping, rejoins the field, able to keep that car pointed the right direction, and doesn't bring out a caution flag there himself. It could have very easily been a caution flag out there on the speedways. That's the initial contact right there, as he disappeared, reappeared, and all of a sudden Nick Gardner was just a couple inches too far forward and got into him there, and unfortunately spins him around. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Colton Hardy, as, yeah, you're going to see him blink here a little bit, then all of a sudden he comes back and he's already sideways, and then more contact, and oh man, that's a scary ride right there for Colton Hardy. That's never a fun sight to see out of the front windshield, and luckily enough, though, that thing lands back onto all four, keeps on rolling out there on the racetrack, man. But that was that could have been a whole lot worse in a whole quick hurry, and luckily enough, he's able to hang on to it and keep on battling here in this one. As we're looking at right here, there's that contact that into getting. Ooh, baby! Oh man, that is a crazy one for the winningest car here in the contest here for our best paint scheme here at Memorial Day. Definitely not the way we wanted that one to go as we get ready to rock and roll. As Evan Stewart says, hope this race hasn't been as much as a caution fest as last night. Laugh out loud. Not as much yet, Evan. The night is still young. There is still opportunities and the possibility for more caution flags to arise. I do believe that was probably about our fifth or sixth caution flag now on the evening. So it's getting up there. It's getting up there. There's definitely been some contact, some rubbing and scrubbing, some elbows up racing out there on the speedway, and we will get them all ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing and back to our Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again, crank up that volume and get ready to go back to green flag racing, as we're going to jump right on board here with Nate Cogdell for this restart. the windshield of the 0-0 ride. The caution flag will come back out. We saw these drivers getting squirrely, and this one got a very, very interesting view right there. As we rode on more, saw that one happen right there. As man, this was wild out of the windshield here. You see some contact. Things starting to back up in front on this number 0-0 Nate Cogdell. He sees him stacking up, sees these drivers bouncing around. If you watch the 7 right, he gets a piece of the fence, but you watch the 2 right out of that left-hand little window right there, and he'll come back up the racetrack through the grass, and unfortunately, right into Mark Beverly, right into Caleb Kleiner. 7 right of Brett Summers going to get more contact into that as he gets shoved down the racetrack, and somehow or another, Cogdell able to just keep himself out of trouble here, just avoiding all that mayhem and chaos right there. I don't know how he squeezed through there, but he was able to make it. Man, that got too close for comfort right there. As here you go, you see that 2 right through the grass, rolls back up the track, and unfortunately takes out a bunch of drivers, and there's going to be more drivers back here deeper in the field that are just all of a sudden going to have nowhere to go. As you look at some of them, and you look at Rooster Road, and he's tied up in it. John Herbert, he's still quite a ways back here, but he sees all this contact and all this chaos. Look at the smoke, look at the cars going around up there in front of them, and luckily enough for a lot of these drivers, they just roll onto the binders here and keep themselves out of it, as they are just gonna wait for them all kind of wash down the racetrack and out of the way here. And man, there is a lot of carnage here again this afternoon. And Evan, my boy, I think you may have jinxed us, man. You may have jinxed us, Evan. I'm not gonna lie, brother. Not gonna lie. I think you jinxed us here this afternoon, man. Oh man, this is definitely not the way we wanted things to go here in this one, man. Definitely not the way a lot of these drivers wanted things to go. Let's play this back a little bit and see the initial contact here, I do believe, between the number 2 of Daniel Dow and this number 7 right of Brett Summers. Summers up the high side, down through the middle here. Looks like they're going to go 3 wide all of a sudden, out of 3 and 4, and it just closes up, and you see the 7 right. He can't go up any higher, and unfortunately ends up banking it off the outside fence right here. So he's trying to give him as much room as possible. Unfortunately, trying to still roll that speed and momentum. Ends up bouncing off the wall, bouncing into the 2 right of Daniel Dow. Dow trying to keep himself out of his teammate. Unfortunately, kind of squirrely here. Makes a little bit more contact with the 7 right. They're both still sideways. And then as they continue to bounce off each other down across the start finish line, just shoves this 2 car down the racetrack and up and into the grass right here. The truck just goes sideways. And as it goes sideways, all of a sudden it just snaps back up onto the speedway and unfortunately takes out a bunch of drivers, a bunch of cats getting a ton of damage. Mark Beverly just barely getting a little contact out of it, but a lot of these drivers, man, just nowhere to go. All of a sudden, they're parked right there on top of their lap, and Brett Summers, more damage down to the inside fence. We did see Ashley Ellison Jr. get tied up in it. We see a bunch of other drivers just absolutely tore up down there, man. Caleb Kleiner right in the thick of it here. Let's see if we can play this back and take another look, see what happens here again, and see some more of these drivers from their perspectives and what's happening out there on the racetrack as they're just trying to get their way through it. And oh man, heavy hits right here for that 196 ride. A bunch of heavy hits. The 33 in there, the 14 right getting some damage. 0-1 machine also heavy damage there for him. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Caleb Kleiner. As Kleiner is going to have a crazy look at this one. He sees this battle. This is happening right in front of him. So he sees the initial contact here with Brett Summers getting into the wall, then into the 2, and then bouncing around. He's rolling out throttle. He sees that they're already wrecked, but he thinks that it's clear right here. Then all of a sudden, bam, gets looking out, then hit again, and then hit again, and just pinballed around out there on the racetrack, and finally comes to a stop right there at the outside fence. But man, some heavy hits there. That car is absolutely destroyed. We did see the 0-1 also get a lot of heavy damage here. Let's take a look here at Rooster Road, and Rooster trying to navigate his way through the grass, and of course they're trying to avoid it, ends up getting clipped and then makes hard contact with the outside fence. And still seeing these guys spin and wreck and everything else, man. There is a lot of tore up race cars, a lot of absolutely destroyed cats out there on the speedway, and I think our Crank It Up curse continuing here this evening is now we will see Matt Hayden out in front. Hayden now leads this race, so Matt Hayden out in front. He's showing these drivers that he's going to be that car to try to beat here this evening. He's shown a lot of speed out of it. He's looking for another big win, another great race here. We'll have to wait and see if he can navigate his way up and in to potentially victory lane here this evening. We will get them all stacked up. We'll get them all racked up and ready to go back to battle, ready to duke it out here in this one. Each and every one of these drivers looking for a great run and a checkered flag here this afternoon, as we'll get them all ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to battle. Let's see who is going to find their way into victory lane here in this one, and who's going to get the job done, who will put themselves into the top spot, the winner's circle here this evening. We'll find out, because we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. We're going to get ready to duke it out here once again and go back to battle here in this race as the JS Design 201. It's been crazy, it's been wild, and you do see that 318 right, our bull sitter Matthew back up at the front of the field here. He is ready to keep on battling. He is ready to keep on duking it out here this evening. So we'll see what he can do, see if he can find that speed once again and maybe navigate himself right back up into the checkered flag here at the racetrack. Here we go, back to green flag racing and back to our Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume once again and give it up for all these drivers. Put on a angry show for us this evening. the caution flag going to come back out here in this one. Another issue out there on the racetrack, another caution flag, and unfortunately, we will see Ashley Ellison Jr. run into some problems out there on the racetrack. He does right there, the 133 machine here. Once again, let's take a look and see if we see that contact and what happens here to Ashley Ellison Jr. out there on the racetrack. Is a little deeper in the field, already ran into some problems there during that last caution flag, and unfortunately you see this 133 ride already sideways. That's Paul Ferdinandi rolling to the back bumper here of that 133 ride, and then just to make contact into the back end, gets him sideways, gets him into again, puts him up into the outside fence, and unfortunately takes that 133 ride around, and unfortunately that will put us right back under the yellow flag here in this one. That's also going to bring a close to our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up here this evening. So giving up to all these drivers a beautiful Crank It Up session right there. And we'll get ready to see these drivers go back to battle here this evening. You're ready to duke it out once again this afternoon, as each and every one of these competitors are ready to keep on battling, keep on duking it out here in this one. And we'll see kind of who's going to make some moves, who's going to come down pit side here, or if there's drivers that are going to make those strategy calls to head down pit road. And you see virtually everybody there headed down pit side except for a couple handfuls of drivers. Keith Prince in the 3 ride. He is going to stay out there on the racetrack. He is not going to come down pit side, so he's going to take that track position and keep on battling here this evening, as Nate Cogdell right there in second stays out there on the track, as well as Rooster Roden, Skylar Berry, John Herbert, and the number 8 rider, Nicholas Lawrence. So here we go. Couple drivers staying out there. 6 drivers not coming directly down pit side during this caution flag, and that's going to mix things up here at the front of the field. That's definitely going to make things that much more intense, that much more interesting, and trying to see who's going to be able to make these moves, who's going to be able to put themselves into the winning strategy here, and maybe trying to have that extra little bit of tire, maybe trying to keep yourself, out of trouble here on this restart is going to be the big key. And if they can find that gear, if they can find that grind out there on the racetrack, potentially could put themselves into a bit of an advantage out there if they can try and hit a little bit of this pitch strategy correctly, and having some of those extra tires there for later in the race. Maybe it helps them out, maybe it doesn't. Maybe we'll see some more caution flags and opportunities for them to head down pit road here in this one, so we'll have to wait and see makes the call, who heads down pit road, who stays out, who ends up in victory lane here later on this evening, as Keith Prince out in front. Prince gonna see that green flag first here, so we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. The lights are still on the official Iowa Racing paint truck, so we're gonna get another lap around here, and we'll be right back here in just a couple more moments.
Mellow bass screaming, rubber birds on black, engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Peacemaker friction sparks light the night, track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead, chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rivals on my 6, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Rivals on my 6, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skins twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straight we fly. Nitrous veins pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the gay flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah!
right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one, as each and every one of these drivers looking to try to put themselves up and into victory lane. Keith Prince leads the way here in this one with Nate Cogdell. Their day is outside. Is nice and easy out of corner number 4. The pace truck will make that hard left-hand turn back down pit road, and we'll get ready to go back to battle here this evening. From Charlotte Motor Speedway, the green flag back out into the air. Just into 100 laps of this race. 100 laps down, and we only got 34 more laps left to go here in this one. Now, who will find their way up and into victory lane here this evening? Who will get the job done here tonight? It's going to get very, very wild in a quick hurry, as each and every one of these competitors going to be looking to try to put themselves up and into victory lane, and we'll have to wait and see what the fresh tires, the old tires will do out there on the racetrack. As quickly we do see that 3-ride slide a little farther back here, in Rooster Rodin going to take that race lead away. So Rooster now out in front, and Cogdell there in position number 2, but he is battling down to the inside. He is looking to try to take this race lead away from that 0-1 machine. Here comes that beautiful number 46, right, as Skylar Berry. Skylar right there as well. He's looking to try to jump up and into that battle here for that top spot, as well as each and every one of these competitors. Man, they've been putting on a heck of a show, heck of a battle for us here in this one, man. It's been non-stop racing action right from the drop of the green flag here this evening, and we'll see this battle continue to rage on all day long until that checkered flag flies. I don't think we're going to see these drivers not just give it everything they got, not backing down, not giving an inch out there on the racetrack up to this point, man. They are going to be duking it out here in this one. And man, oh man, these guys have been battling hard, man. They've been battling hard. They have not given up anything out there, and none of these drivers taking it for granted. They're making sure that they keep on hitting their marks, keep on racing to the front of the field. Is Skylar Berry right there now putting the pressure onto that 0-0 ride as we take a look back a little deeper in the field. We do see, Keith Prince already sliding back into about the 8th position. Look out now. There goes the 0-0 right around. The 0-0 goes for a loop-de-loop. The caution flag will come back out. Caution flag coming back out here is the 0-0. Having such a great run on that pit strategy. And Nate Cogdell looks like he's going to have some contact here. He's out of corner number 2. Just contact there between him and Skylar Berry. That truck almost goes airborne right there. Does make a little contact with that inside fence. Doesn't look like too much damage there for him. But man, that thing, it tried to take off, ladies and gentlemen. It tried to go away. It tried to fly there down the back straightaway like Ricky Bobby, and Ricky Bobby, the ballad of Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights, and luckily enough for him, he's able to keep it on all 4 and just keep on rolling here and survive and live to tell the tale and keep on battling here today, as we'll get them all ready to rumble once again. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing and ready to duke it out here again in this one. So each and every one of them, now it's a decision time. Do you come back down pit side? Do you need the fuel? Do you got the tires in your back pocket? What do you do? Where do you go? How do you get it done out there on the speedway? And who is going to be one of these drivers that maybe take the gamble? Here we go. We do see Keith Prince headed down pit road. Rooster Rodin also coming down pit side. Skylar Berry, a bunch of those drivers that did not come down pit road during that last caution flag. They stayed out on the racetrack, and that strategy might be the winning call for them here this evening. Maybe it puts them up and into victory lane. Maybe it doesn't. We'll have to wait and see how this one kind of plays out for them, as it could have some very, very good tires on their race trucks. They could potentially be in a situation to maybe put themselves into the winner's circle here this afternoon. We'll have to see if they can try to race their way through the cautions, through the chaos, through the beating and banging and battling out there on the racetrack. As every one of these drivers, man, it has been a dogfight right from the drop of the green flag, and I'm sure it's going to be the same way right down to the checkered flag here tonight, as they continue to keep on fighting, keep on battling out there on the racetrack. As these guys put on a show. This is what we see week in, week out here with the Metalheads Truck Series. These guys don't back down from a fight. They don't slow down. They don't back down. They continue to just keep on duking it out, whether or not it's lap number 5 or lap number 50 or lap number 500. They are not giving an inch out there on the racetrack, and they are continuing to try to put themselves up and into victory lane, as we'll get ready to go back to battle. We'll get ready to duke it out here once again here in this one. It's out in front, now leading the way, it is Michael Madden. Madden now leads this race as the 15 machine, the Sparkle and Shine, right at the front of the field. There behind him is the number 96 of Charles Gettings. Gettings in second with Clinton Woodby. Mark Beverly and Matt Hayden are top 5 in that number 5 truck, all ready to go back to battle, ready to duke it out here again this evening as see the lights turn off the official iRacing pace truck, and we will get ready to go back to battle here in this one, man, as woo, doggy, this is going to get fun. This is going to get real fun, chat. Another late race restart. There's not a lot of laps left in this race, and these drivers, they know what's on the line. They know that this is time to go. It's time to go or go home here, and they need to try to make their way to the front, man, and that's where we usually see more issues, more contact, and unfortunately more issues and caution flags out there on the speedway, especially when we get these Hortus nets all kind of bound back together and wrapped right together door to door out there on the speedway. So it's probably going to be looking that way. We may see it continue on that way here this evening. So let's get ready to see the show. Let's get ready to put on the battle. Ladies and gentlemen, you came here for a show. Well, here you go as each and every one of these competitors ready to duke it out here this evening, man. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. This is going to be an absolute blast, an absolute treat here this evening for each and every single one of us. Alrighty, as Michael Madden, Charles Gettings, 1 and 2 out there on the racetrack. They are getting ready to see that green flag fly here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. As nice and easy down through corner number 4, we will see that green flag come back out. So the green flag back out into the air here for the 15 ride, and Madden gets a great restart, quickly back onto the loud pedal and quickly trying to pull away from the rest of the field. We do see that 92 rider Clinton Woodby, though. He's trying to hunt him down, trying to reel in that number 15 ride, but he's still door to door back here with that 96 ride of Charles Gettings. A little bit of contact, a little bit of movement back there behind him is Gettings, and Matt Hayden right there is Hayden trying to hang on to that 5 ride, trying to get that racer machine back up towards the front of the field here. Mark Beverly right there as well. Heck of a run so far here for Mark Beverly as he rolls back in position number 5 on the racetrack. Matthew Catania, our pole sitter, an early race leader here this evening. Right in this fight, right in this battle, and ready to try to navigate their way closer to the front of the field. But unfortunately, we will see that caution flag come back out as it's one of our drivers that were down pit road there during that last caution flag. The 3 ride, unfortunately, looks like he's going to run into some issues right here. Contact between him and the 50 ride, unfortunately, sends the 3 of Keith Prince down the racetrack back up onto the speedway. Luckily enough, everyone able to avoid him right there, man. Heck of a show and heck of a drive there by all these other drivers, able to avoid this car as Keith Prince goes around that 50 ride, making the contact right there, and all of a sudden he goes off into the outside fence, man. Heavy hit, heavy damage there for him. Heavy contact into that wall, man. Definitely not a spot you want to be. That is a tough one out there on the racetrack. You don't want to be tied up in that. As we'll get them all ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to battle and see who's going to be able to put themselves back up here at the front. So let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. Another restart just on the horizon here for all these drivers, and another opportunity to potentially come down pit road, trying to get some more work done, trying to get some service to your race truck, and trying to roll back out there onto the speedway. So we'll see. There is a few tankers here. We do see Mark Beverly head down pit road. We do see Colton Hardy. He's also headed down pit side in the 97 ride. So Hardy and a couple of these other guys headed down pit road here, making sure that they get their machines perfectly set, perfectly ready to rock and roll here for another big restart out there on the racetrack. And we'll get ready to keep on playing here today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be one heck of a show here this evening, and you want to see it, well, here you go. It's going to be a wild one, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a wild race. I think the closer and closer we get here to this checkered flag, the crazier and crazier it will be, as drivers are going to get the intensity level built up. Everyone's just going to be pushing that much harder, that much tougher out there on the racetrack, and no one's going to want to give an inch out there on the speedway, trying to keep themselves out of trouble here this afternoon. So it's going to be right down to the very bitter end, I think, of this race for each and every one of the competitors, man. It's gonna be a little bit crazy. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna get a little buck wild out there on the racetrack, Chad. It's gonna get a little bit absolute chaotic out there on the speedway. And we're gonna see these drivers continue to have to try to make some moves, make some decisions on where they want to go or how they want to navigate it and how they want to put themselves up and into potentially victory lane here this evening. So for Michael Madden, it's just showtime. It's game time here for that 15 ride. We've seen it time and time again for himself, where he just continues to put down great laps, continues to run well out there on the racetrack, and trying to put himself up and into victory lane here this evening. It's not going to be an easy task. It's going to be a tough task out there on the racetrack, but it is definitely going to be doable. And for a driver of his caliber, definitely going to make it interesting to see whether or not he's going to be able to put himself into victory lane or not. Trying to hold these drivers off, trying to keep these guys back there at bay. It's going to be tough, Chad. It's going to be very, very tough. Here we go. Back to green flag racing here in this one. The lights are off. The official iRacing pace truck, and nice and easy down through corner number 1 and 2 and back down the back straightaway here. Drivers, they can feel that intensity, they can feel that level, the stress level is continuing to go up, and them know that one simple mistake, one wrong move could eventually or potentially take them out of this race. So just trying to mind their P's and Q's, trying to keep themselves out of major issues out there on the racetrack, and ready to go to battle, go to war here in this one. All right, so we'll stack them up. We'll get ready to go back to battle. We'll get ready to duke it out here once again this afternoon. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go. Another big restart on the line for each and every one of these competitors. They know it is time for them to shine here this evening, as Michael Madden and Clinton Woodby, door to door, down and out of corner number 4. They will see that green flag fly here once again at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the JS Design 201 here in the Metalhead Truck Series. As Michael Madden back onto the loud pedal, another great restart right there for that 92, trying to stick right there to his back bumper. Here comes Gettings, though, down to the inside. Gettings looking to try to stay in that second spot, looking to clear this 92 ride down the back straightaway. Can't quite pull the trigger. He is clear, but didn't have the call and couldn't jump up quick enough, and he'll have to hang on and keep that 92 there to his outside. He knows he's there, he's going to try to keep him there, and he's going to try to keep on rolling this inside lane to perfection, as a lot of other drivers running into some issues, man. More drivers running into problems in the caution flag. We'll come back out as we take a look. We see Skylar Berry going airborne right here. Look out and look at the Mission 22 ride as another issue out on the speedway. As, contact here. Looks like Mark Beverly going to get a piece of this 46 ride, and unfortunately gets him sideways, getting turned on the racetrack. It looks like he loses it there a little bit. Looks like he just loses the rear end. If we play it back, and maybe just the pressure of the air onto the 22, and all of a sudden, maybe even just a little neck coat. I don't know. This truck just coming out of corner number 4. You see it starting to travel down the racetrack. It's sideways right there. Hits the apron. Kind of comes back up and has to roll out of the throttle. Beverly really has nowhere to go. Gets into the back end of him. Helps him out here. Getting him more sideways on the racetrack. And then Beverly just trying to stay out of him here. Getting onto the binders. The 46 trying to correct it. Trying to keep that thing in the right direction. All of a sudden washes back up the racetrack. Right into the lap here of Brett Summers. And Summers comes in and absolutely kills him. The 48 ride gonna get some good damage into that as well, and a bunch of tore up race trucks again here on the racetrack. Is some more late race incidences, more late race contact and cautions here, as Beverly, Barry, and Grayson McKee, all with some heavy damage there in that wreck, as we will get another caution flag, another restart on the horizon, and another opportunity for drivers to potentially come down pit road. But this late in the race, that track position gonna be oh so important. But for drivers a little deeper in the field, maybe if they got that extra set back there behind pit wall, maybe it's time to shine, maybe it's time to use them and try to cruise control your way up towards victory lane here this evening, as we do see Nick Gardner headed back down pit road. So the Napa Auto Parts 27 ride looks like he's going to be the lone wolf here for strategy coming down pit road. We do see Brett Summers and Skylar Berry, they're down pit side looking to get their cars repaired here this evening. But for Nick Gardner, It's an interesting call, and you do see tires going on this 27 ride, so Nick potentially having that extra set back behind pit wall. This could be the winning call and winning strategy here. If he can keep himself out of trouble, keep himself out of chaos and carnage out there on the racetrack, and if he can find the open lanes to navigate his way towards the front here with those fresher tires, even though it's only going to be, 10, 15 lap better tires, maybe even 5, 10 lap tires more better than some of these other drivers. It could still make that difference. It could still be the difference maker, whether or not it puts him up into victory lane here this evening, but it could keep him from, going from a bad finish to a really good finish here this evening. So we'll have to keep an eye out on him. As you do see the 0-1, that is Rooster running. Rooster getting the wave around right there. The lucky dog back on the lead lap. Unfortunately for Keith Prince, he has still scored a lap down. Same with Grayson McKee. Ashley Ellison Jr. still a lap or multiple laps down back there in 26. Daniel Dow and Bruce Bernard both have taken their trucks off of the racetrack. So we start with 28. We're down to 26. Still rolling out there on the speedway as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a few more moments.
Mellow bass screaming, rubber birds on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Peacemaker, friction sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Rebels on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly. Nitrous veins pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game's flame. Metalhead.
Alrighty, here we go. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. As the 15 of Michael Madden sees that green flag once again. Quickly trying to pull out front, quickly trying to pull away from everybody else here on the racetrack. As we are down to only 17 laps left to go here in this one. As Madden out in front, it's Clinton Woodby there in second with Charles Dennings, Matt Hayden, Caleb Kleiner there in fifth as Kleiner trying to run that turbo HP machine up to the front of the field here in this one as he is right there ready to strike, ready to try to put himself up and into victory lane here today. Several of these competitors still back here duking it out, door, two wide, three wide, battling out there on the racetrack. We see John Herbert there in position number 8 as he's trying to navigate his way a little closer to the front here. We do see Nathan Nix in there as well with Dylan Poss right there, Joe Bennett, Joshua Moore, Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. back there in that battle as well as that 33 line trying to navigate his way up towards the top of the field here. You see the 51 of Joshua Moore. He's right there in this mix as well. He rolls in position number 13 on the racetrack with Jason Steptoe there as well as, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to get ready to set these drivers loose. We're going to get ready to continue to see them duke it out here in these closing laps. Everyone trying to find their way back to the front, and we look back here at this number 27 of Nick Gardner. Gardner rolling there in 19th. Now Gardner, he's got a little bit of a gear here to him. He's got those little bit better tires out there on the racetrack and just trying to navigate his way to the front here. It's going to be interesting, but look out, there goes Nate Cogdell. Cogdell's going to go around. We saw it coming. That was a hornet's nest out there on the racetrack. And for Nate Cogdell, 3 wide right here. This doesn't usually work here at Charlotte. Unfortunately, he finds out the hard way. The 8 ride down low gets a weird entry point into this tri-oval. Got to make some contact there with that 00. The 51 of Joshua Moore. He sees it, tries to get up and out of the way, but now trying to keep himself out of the fence. Unfortunately, turns back up into the 00 ride, and that just hooks Nate Cogdell up and into the fence here. You see the 97 of Colton Hardy. He's trying to avoid him. He's drifting down here through there, as we do see Joshua Moore. He's drifting through there as well. And Cogdell, unfortunately, looks like he's going to get the most damage out of that one. And for Joshua Moore, he ends up making actually really hard contact. That's not safe for barrier down there, that part of the racetrack. That is concrete. And then he ends up getting a piece of Brett Summers here. Oh, man, heartbreaker for Brett Summers. Summers thought he was through that, thought that this was all over with, and unfortunately makes a big move, then gets clipped right there, just enough to send him sideways up the track and into the fence. Heartbreaker there for him, man. Heartbreaker for that number 7 ride, as that definitely is not how he drew that one up. Definitely did not want to have that kind of an issue out there on the racetrack, and unfortunately some very, very heavy damage for him, man. That is definitely not what you want to see. That's definitely not what you want to happen, and unfortunately he'll have to try to get that truck repaired and keep on rolling back there deeper in the field, as we do see more down pit road. He's trying to roll back out there. We do see Brett Summers. He's back out onto the track here, even with that damage. You're going to continue to keep on battling, though, as you can see these drivers just keep on racing here. They're going to not give up. We still got a lot of racing left to go here. There's still a good amount of laps left in this race. Still 12 more left to go here in this one, as we get a little closer to the checkered flag, though. It's right there. It's not too far away. Potentially, this could be our final restart. Potentially, we could see a few more out there on the racetrack. It's going to be a wild one to see how it kind of finishes up, how this one kind of comes to a close here, but wait and see how this one does finish, man. I'm not sure how it's going to end up. I'm not sure how this is going to play out, as it could be a bit of a caution fest. We could see another 4 or 5 cautions out there on the racetrack. We could see, only a couple more. It's totally up to grabs here for a lot of this, man. There's still a lot of opportunities for a lot of chaos out there on the racetrack, so not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. Not over yet. We'll see them all get ready to rock and roll. We'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. What's good, Bacon? Casey, what's good, brother? Casey coming in, showing the love. Big Bacon Gaming with that like on the stream. How are you, Big Bacon? How you doing this afternoon? As here we go. We're going to go back to battle. We're going to get ready to set them loose here once again, as out in front, Michael Madden. He continues to lead the way here, and he keeps on hitting these restarts and doing a fantastic job holding these drivers back there at bay and keeping himself right here in this mix. And we'll see if he stays in this battle or if he falls back here. His tires and everything else, it's going to be a bit of an interesting one to see kind of how it plays out, how it rolls out here, and still seeing drivers making decisions and decisive opportunities here to try to keep themselves out of trouble or trying to put themselves into a winning situation. So we'll get ready to see how this kind of plays out. Here we go. Lights are off the paint truck. We will see that green flag come back out this next time by the start-finish line. We'll get ready to go back to battle. I do believe with about 10 laps left to go here. Yeah, 10 laps left to go here in this one. As Eric Hardy says, tough night, still anyone's race. Definitely a tough night. Tough night. A lot of caution flags here. A lot of wrecks. A lot of wrecked race cars out there. But nonetheless, we keep on striving and driving and looking to see who's gonna find themselves up and into victory lane here this evening. Each and every one of these drivers hoping that they're going to be the driver up in victory lane. They're hoping that they will be the one to find themselves in the top spot here this evening, as each and every one of these cats getting ready to go back to green flag racing. As Michael Madden out in front, we'll see that green flag flying down through the Geico restart zone. He will be the driver to try and keep him back there at bay. He will be the driver to try to pull away and try to put himself up and into victory lane. As Madden out in front, a good restart, quickly slides up and clears Flint would be right there with them. Nice and easy down through corner number 1 and 2, as you see them still battling. Little 3 line back there. Our race leader on the racetrack, and everyone still battling here, man. A little bit of contact, a little bit of pushing and shoving, bumping and grinding out there on the speedway. Not one driver giving an inch out there. Each and every one of them just hoping for the best outcome this afternoon. Here we go, Madden clicks off another lap, but man, oh man, oh man, the pressure that he's got to be feeling out of this number 15 ride with all these drivers right there on his back bumper, right there ready to try and pass him and take this win away from him here this evening. It's going to be very, very intense, especially if we see another late race caution flag. If we see NASCAR overtime here this evening, what that's going to mean for these drivers. And we see now Caleb Kleiner finding some extra fuel here, trying to make the move around Matt Hayden. Hayden trying to hold on to third, but that number 196 looking to try to take it away from him. And Matthew Catania, our full sitter, here on the racetrack, sits back in position number 5, and to go for a drive here this evening, man. He's been finding some good speed out of that 318 ride, but once he kind of gave up that race lead after winning stage number 1, unfortunately, he hasn't found any other speed out there, and he hasn't been able to get this thing rolling any farther. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can find that extra little bit of gear and see if he can try to jump up here and into this fight. He slides into 4th as still looking for a little bit more pace, still looking for a little bit more speed out there on the racetrack as Michael Madden now starting to open up that race lead, starting to pull away here in this one. So it's going to be interesting. How is it going to play out? Will Madden be able to just drive it home? Will we see another caution flag? What is going to happen here for each and every one of these competitors as it's easy across the line? Madden will click off another lap here in this one. 6 more laps left to go for the 15 ride. Would be back there in tow with the 318 of Matthew Catania now into 3rd. Caleb Kleiner slides back to 4th with Charles Jennings here in position number 5. Then you see Matt Hayden in 6th. Coop Reed, great recovery here for that 14 ride of Coop Reed. On our opening lap, he had to make a pass-through penalty, went an early lap down, got tied up in a few of those caution flags, but here he is up inside the top 10. Nathan Nixon, John Herbert in that Ridge Power Sports ride, battling door-to-door for position. Number 9 with that 0-5 ride of Joe Bennett. Bennett trying to move in the 9th. That number 87 trying to hang on to it, and right there behind him is Dylan Poss. Poss trying to put himself up inside the top 10 here on the racetrack. Is Nick Gardner back there in 12th. I thought we'd see this number 27 ride moving through the field a little bit quicker here, potentially a little bit better tires than everybody else, and maybe in these closing laps he'll find a couple extra spots and drive his way up inside a top 10, top 5 run out there on the racetrack. As you see Hayden slide up the speedway right here. Hayden's going to go up the track. It's going to open up the door here for a few more drivers to try to get around him. As Matthew Catania trying to track down that 92 of Clinton Woodby though, right there, only a truck length or 2 between himself and Michael Madden. As Madden washes up the racetrack right there and to roll out of the throttle. Here comes the 92. Big run to the back bumper. He'll make the move down to the inside of Michael Madden. They're door 2, door down, and into corner number 1 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 3 laps left to go, and this is the fight at the front of the field. Madden, though, gets a great corner down through 1 and 2, able to open up that race lead by a truck length once again down the back straightaway. But as they battle, here comes Catania. He's going to make this a 3-truck fight here at the front of the field. As Catania looking to make some late race moves and trying to put himself up and into victory lane here this evening. As Madden down across the line, we'll see 2 more laps left to go here in this one, and the caution flag is going to fly. The caution flag will be displayed. A late race restart in NASCAR overtime here this evening. Oh, baby. You couldn't draw it up any better. NASCAR overtime here in this one, late in this race, and we will take a look back and see what happens here. Who gets tied up in what? Who ends up going around? We did see a couple drivers end up going down through the infield right here off the racetrack, as I'm sure, they're just trying to avoid this 50 ride. Great move right there by the 97, as he for certain would have drove into the back end of the number 50 machine right here, as we're going to watch this 50 ride. Unfortunate break here for the 50 machine. Where is he on the racetrack? I'm trying to find him. Where is the 50 number? There's Jason Steptoe. You watch Jason Steptoe. I think there's issues still even in front of him. I'm not sure who is running into problems. Maybe Dylan Poss right here, but he gets checked up, and there you go. You do see Poss, Nick Garner tied together, and as the 50 ride goes down onto the apron and through the grass, then comes back up the track, nowhere to go for Paul Ferdinandi. You do see the number 33 of Jimmy Fitzmaurice in there, as well as Dylan Poss, one of the first drivers kind of to go around right here. Let's play this back and take a look at it. As again, a little bit of 3 wide in this battle back here, just out outside our top 5. See Nick Garner right in the middle of it. He tanks the outside fence ever so slightly. It checks up the 11 ride, gets the 27 squirrely. Then they all just pile in there, and look at the hits and rides that the 11 ride takes here. Oh my gosh, that was a wild one for this 11 ride as Poss goes virtually upside down on top of another car out there on the racetrack. Take a look at it as he gets turned right here over the nose of the 40 of Nathan Nixon in the 5 ride there, the 05 machine. All of a sudden he goes upside down. He's riding on top the hood of that 05 machine of Bennett, and then finally rolls back over onto all fours and head on into that outside fence, then gets hit by Nick Gardner, gets hit again by the 27, and then washes down the racetrack and into the inside fence, just narrowly avoiding and taking out that 97 rider Colton Hardy. Hardy just able to get through there, but man, that was a big one right there. A lot of drivers, a bunch of drivers getting tore up, and for Poss, man, that's a heartbreaker for him, man. That is definitely not what he wanted late in this race. He was trying to race his way up through the field here and trying to get a solid top 10 run. And this is what he sees from the dog pit. Season 27, get the fence right there, gets to his back bumper, then they all start making contact, then all of a sudden, oh baby, that is never the sight you want to see. Then a big couple of hits, and then bam, back down into that inside fence as well. And my gosh, that car is absolutely destroyed, and he takes it right down pit road. It looks like his night may be done. His goose is cooked here this evening, and now we'll see a green-white checkered finish. Our first attempt at a green-white checkered here this evening. So for these drivers, they're going to have a couple attempts at this. If we do not get it done in the first attempt, we'll try it again, and if they don't get it again, then we'll do it a third time, and it will be the third and final time here this evening. But for these drivers, this is the first attempt at a green-white checker. We will do 2 laps of racing action. If we do not see the green flag or the caution flag fly, find the white flag. If the white flag does not come out and the yellow flag does, we will rack them up, we will stack them up, we'll try it all over again. But if the white flag does get displayed, if we see the white flag come out, that will be the final lap. Even if they're wrecking, even if there's carnage out there on the racetrack after the white flag is displayed, this race will be official. We will race back down to the line. Whether or not everyone's wrecked, everyone's destroyed, and we see someone creeping down there at 5 miles an hour across the line to win this race, that will be the race. And we will see these drivers ready to rumble, ready to roll here in just another second or two as the 15 ride of Michael Madden ready for a big restart here. I'm not sure if he was going to be able to hold these guys off in that couple of laps. You saw the 92 of Woodby and Catania right there putting the pressure on his back bumper, and looked like the 92 was trying to size him up for a big run down through 1 and 2 before that yellow flag was thrown. So now with a big restart for that 15 ride of Michael Madden, potentially that's what he needs to be able to pull out front, have a couple laps to trying to keep him back there at bay and put himself up into victory lane. As we're about to find out, as here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a late race restart here with the Metalhead Truck Series, and it is NASCAR overtime here this evening in the JS Design 201 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Madden got the restart that he was hoping for. Quickly opened up a bit of truck length between himself and Woodby. Now Woodby trying to hunt him down, but the caution flag will come right back out. Caution flag back in on the racetrack. We just took that green flag. Looks like some issues here on the restart for a few of these drivers, and one of them being Matt Hayden here. Looks like Hayden potentially getting into the 96 ride right here, and Charles Gettings in the 96. They're back in position number 5 and 7 on the racetrack. They're lined up 3rd and 4th on the inside row, and you see Gettings, it just looks like he's slow on this restart. I don't know if he's spinning the tires or just does not fire right here. And for Hayden, he's trying to get checked up. He's trying to stay out of them, but the driver's back behind him, just accordion effect. They don't see these guys checking up here, and it's just putting all that momentum, all that contact into the back end of the 96. That's just going to spin him around sideways down through the infield. We're going to see Matt Hayden go through there as well, and see him back up onto the track there. But with that contact and that rough restart right there, we will see the caution flag come back out, and another NASCAR overtime attempt here this evening, as this will be the green-white checkered attempt number 2 out there on the racetrack. As we'll be right back in a couple more seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, don't go anywhere, as you do not want to miss out on this racing action here this evening, and who will put themselves in to victory lane here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, as each and every one of these competitors getting ready to roll once again, ready to go back to battle here in this one. Who is going to get it done? Can Madden hang on? Can he pick up the checkered flag? Or does a driver like Woodby, Matthew Catania, maybe Caleb Klein, or even the 14 rider Coop Reed back there in 5th? Can they find their way into victory lane? John Herbert now in 6th with Joe Bennett, Joshua Moore, Nathan Nixon, and Colton Hardy rounding out our top 10. Mark Beverly there in 11th with Skylar Berry, Jason Steptoe, Nick Garner back there in 14th, Nate Cogdell, Nicholas Lawrence, Rooster Rodden, Paul Ferdinandi, Matt Hayden, and Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. rounding out our top 20. Charles Gettings back there in 21st with Brent Summers there in 22nd. Grayson McKee, Keith Prince, Ashley Ellison Jr., Dylan Poss, Daniel Dow, and Bruce Barnard bringing up the rear of the field here in this one, as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. We'll get ready to duke it out here again in this one.
Mellow bass screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beasts make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rivals on my 6, but my grit don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Rivals on my 6, but my grit don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly. Nitrous things pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game's flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah!
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go. Back to green flag racing. NASCAR overtime attempt number 2 is the 15 of Michael Madden. Another solid restart, quickly jumps up, clears the 92 of Clinton Woodby. But Woodby right there on his back bumper as they head down into corner number 1. Nice and easy out of corner number 2. Madden trying to hold him back there at bay. Looked like we were able to get through that green flag nice and easy. No caution flag as of yet as we head down the back straightaway here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Michael Madden down through quarter 3 and out of corner number 4. He's hoping to see that white flag fly as down across the line. Here it is. The white flag has been displayed. This will be the final lap, and here comes the swarm behind him. Here comes Catania down low. Catania looking for a big run. He slides up the racetrack across the nose of the 92. They all wash up the track as the 196 into the outside fence, and a big run coming from the 92 of Clinton Woodby. Woodby took a look to the inside. Big block into the 15 of Michael Madden. Madden now trying to hold him back. Gonna wash him off the racetrack. Here comes Coop Reed down low as the 92 banks it off the outside fence. It's the 15 of Michael Madden who will pick up the checker flag. Madden hangs on to it and picks up the win here in this one as Clinton Woodby comes home in second, and it's Joe Bennett coming home in position number 3. Joshua Moore there in 4th. Colton Hardy, our top 5, is look at that 51 51. Oh, man, that was a crazy finish as they were wrecking down across the start-finish line here, man. There was a ton of carnage here for a bunch of these drivers that all of a sudden just got absolutely consumed here. We see a couple of them. We see the 318 into the outside fence. The 51 of Joshua Moore moves down low to get around him. Now the 318 ends up collecting that number 14 ride, who was on pace to potentially pick up a top 3 run. And then all of a sudden you see this 318 ride go absolutely airborne up and through the sky, getting bounced around. He's upside down doing a stompy there across the line, then gets hit again by Mark Beverly. And look at this car go flying here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and it's not done yet. He's going to continue to keep on barrel rolling down and into corner number 1, and still airborne, still bouncing around. There's more carnage, more drivers wrecking. The 50 ride, he's airborne. The 51 ride of Joshua Moore, he's upside down. He's going for a wild ride as the big one here at the checkered flag this afternoon. Let's see if we can take a look and a ride on board here with this 318 machine of Matthew Catania. Woo, baby. Oh, help me, baby Jesus. Help me, Tom Cruise. Help me, Oprah. Oh, my gosh. What a ride that was for him, man. That was absolutely insane. Absolutely wild wreck here at the finish line, ladies and gentlemen. And still coming across the line. That's the crazy part. Coming across the line, upside down in the air in about the 7th position. And watch that car just continue to bounce around. Look at Joshua Moore. He's upside down. He's going for his wild ride. They're still wrecking back here behind him. Let's see Joshua Moore's run right here as the 51 machine comes home in position number 4 here after getting tied up in this one. Somehow or another, the Muhlenberger Custom Homes run crosses the line in position number 4, but then this wreck just absolutely insane. The contact there, they slide it around right here. Unfortunately, loses it, goes up into the outside fence, and then gets T-boned right there, and then just upside down, and then barrel rolling, tagged again. More hits. You see Matt Hayden collected in there. A lot of these drivers, a lot of tour-up race trucks that will probably never see the track again, as they are going to be going to the scrapyard after that one. As, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for Michael Madden as Madden picks up the checkered flag, pulls himself up and into victory lane. We'll get ready to pull Michael and the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here in this one. As boy, oh boy, oh boy, that was crazy. That was absolutely insane, man. That was a lot of fun to watch these guys battle and duke it out and put themselves into a position like that to be able to battle late in this race and be able to battle like that for a little 3 wide, 4 wide, and contact and beating and bang. A lot of caution flags, a lot of incidences out there on the racetrack, but a crazy finish and a great way to finish off this race. No better fitting way than some NASCAR overtime here this evening. As here we go. We'll pull our 3rd place finisher as Danny Hamster says, what league is this? This is the Metalheads Truck Series. Danny, Metalheads Truck Series. As here we go. We'll get ready to pull in our 3rd place or our race winner, actually, as I'm looking for him. Where's he at? Where's he at? I don't see him in there. Where is he? Yeah, we don't see him in there. Where in the world is Michael Madden? We want to pull Madden in here, but I don't even see him in the Discord. Where's he at? There he is. All right, we finally see him. All right, let's pull him up here. I'll drag him up myself. I'll get him through here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for our race winner, Michael Madden, here this evening. Madden coming home in the top spot, able to get the job done and find victory lane. Let's get him up into the booth. Hey, Michael, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
I got you, man.
Michael, man, what a run, what a race, a crazy one here this evening at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And somehow or another, late in this race, you find yourself at the front of the field and trying to hold on, trying to hold these guys back there at bay as Clinton would be the 318 of Catania all over your back bumper late in this race. And somehow or another, I think those late race restarts, the green-white checkers, may have been your saving grace, because before that caution flag came out with 2 laps left to go, they were all over you, and they were coming in a quick hurry.
Yeah, man, I just didn't have the short run pace. It was kind of wild, and I was kind of biding my time, hoping we get a kind of flurry of cautions, and kind of just worked out the way I needed to. Put myself in position by taking tires and getting myself into clean air, and that kind of propelled me into the position I was in. So luckily, strategy kind of paid off there for once.
Strategy definitely paid off, man, but the pressure you had to be feeling those last 20, 30 laps with a lot of restarts and having some very, very fast, talented drivers back there just pushing you around the racetrack there, inches off your back bumper for laps after laps after laps here this evening.
Yeah, man, it's I try to race everybody clean, but it is what it is. I know I kind of peeved a lot of people off, but I'm trying to put this points system going, trying to get more points for the playoffs. And when you find yourself in position, and I've been wrecked a lot, and I haven't been able to capitalize on the good runs that I've had, you gotta take advantage of opportunities when they present itself. So I'm sorry for the 92. I tried to give him room on the outside in the last lap, and he pushed me into 1 and 2, and it cut off the 318 truck, and it just is what it is. Everybody's gonna see a different perspective. So I apologize to them, but it's all good. I mean, they would have done the same thing if I was behind them. So it's just how everybody goes in this league. There's no lift, and there's no see you tomorrow. So we'll re-rack it, and we'll just take this win, take it into next week, and just keep pounding, stacking them pennies, because we need them points.
Absolutely need them pennies out there, man. And you got a bunch more here tonight, and yeah, those big moves, obviously late in the race, green, white checkers, everything else. You gotta do what you can to pick up a win. It's points on the line. It's a championship potential. It's everything that could go right for you. And from races that have went wrong, you can't just give them up. You just don't want to pull over and let guys go by just because they haven't won races yet. That's not racing. Whether or not you're even in the playoffs or not, you still want to continue to keep on battling and keep on winning races out there. So you're not going to pull over and just give it away. And here tonight, you made all the right moves, made the right calls, and making a couple of good blocks out there, trying to kill that momentum, trying to keep those guys back there at bay behind you, and able to just hold on and hold off that 92 of Woodby here tonight, and then down across the line. I don't know if you looked into that mirror, if you were celebrating the win or not.
Oh, whole last lap, man.
Carnage, brother. Nothing but carnage down across the line there. As that was a crazy finish and a perfect way to end this race, as a lot of caution flags, a lot of issues out there throughout the evening, and definitely made pit strategy and tire strategy kind of a big question mark here on the evening with all the yellow flags, and then obviously just trying to earn that track position, trying to put yourself into this position, man. It had to be some very, very tough calls out there.
Yeah, man, you don't really know. Like last week, you put yourself in back behind the field, and you get caught up in somebody else's mess, and even though you thought you had the right strategy, you put yourself up front like I did at Iowa. You get run over because some people take tires, and it's just you never know, man. When you capitalize on the right call, you gotta make the most of that opportunity, and I'm thankful that's what I did tonight. And like you said, just making the points for the playoffs get higher and higher, and that's what the goal is in this regular season.
Absolutely. Well, mission accomplished here this evening as you park that 15 ride up and into victory lane here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Michael, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong drive out there on the racetrack?
Got to thank anything EC, Sparkle and Shine, everything they do for me, Sean Crozier, all those guys. Appreciate you, buddy. Our Rev Racing crew. I know Dow and Nixon had a little bit of a rough night, but at least I was able to capitalize for them, and just appreciate you and everything you do every week, buddy. It's not easy to watch these races sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little long, and the caution flags are the killer part right there. They take a little while out there, man, especially in these NASCAR races. It's not like a dirt track race where it takes 15, 30 seconds or something, and all of a sudden we're back to green flag racing. These ones drag on a little bit. When you see double-digit yellow flags, definitely makes it a little bit tougher up here in the booth. But man, when we see you guys duking it out and battling like you do, it's never a bad time up here in the booth. As Michael, you park it up into victory lane, brother. Congratulations on the dub, and we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack tomorrow night.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and don't party too hard down there in victory lane. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for our race winner, Michael Madden, as Madden picks up the dub and pulls himself up and into victory lane here in Charlotte. As Denny Hamster says, is there a Discord to join, or what is the league called? The league is called Metalheads Truck Series. That is what the league is called. There is a Discord, but I do know that their series is locked. I don't think they're bringing in any new drivers nowadays, and I don't even know if I can share this link or not, because it just shows hidden, use copy button, and if I copy that, it just literally copies hidden, use the copy button. Oh no, that time it actually worked. All right, there's the Discord for it. You can jump into the Discord, you can see what's happening, what's going on, and see if you can try to get into the series. I don't know if they're taking on any new drivers at this point in time, but nonetheless, Denny, there's your opportunity right there. Is Tyler Stevenson. Tyler coming in with that sub over there on YouTube. Tyler, welcome to the Peacemaker family, becoming one of the newest subscribers here on Peacemaker Gaming. And Denny Hamster coming in with that follow over there on Twitch. Denny, welcome to the Peacemaker family as well, coming in as well, dropping the love here in this one. And we love the Denny Hamlin, the Denny Hamster account there, brother. That is absolutely hilarious. Denny, definitely a hamster in that photo, I can tell you that much, as we're going to get ready to pull in our second place finisher here this evening. The 92 rider, Clinton Woodby, is Woodby coming home in position number 2. Probably not as thrilled about this race as what Michael Madden was, as you heard Madden, he already talked about how the 92 ride definitely didn't see some of those moves as, you know, user-friendly out there on the racetrack, so we'll have to wait and see what he's got to say about how this one came to a close. Hey, Clinton, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Clinton, man, another strong run, another great race here for you, man. So you're able to keep yourself for pretty much the entire night out of the carnage and mayhem that unfolded out there on the racetrack. And then late in this one, you find yourself in perfect position to try to steal this win away from Michael Madden. And then you guys duke it out, man. You try a couple times to get around him. You're door-to-door out there on the racetrack. You just couldn't make those passes. And then all of a sudden, Matthew Catania is right there in the mix. And you guys start duking it out here in these green-white checkers. And right there on that last lap, you get a big run down the back straightaway after a little contact down to corner number 1. You see the 318s line up in between you guys, and then all of a sudden you come storming down the back straightaway. A little bit of a block there out of the 15 ride, forces you to go to the high side, lose that momentum, and unfortunately could not complete that pass as he's able to beat you back down across the line here as you settle in for second. Man, take us back through this race and what's kind of going through your mind right now as you sit down there on pit road.
Yeah, that last lap was pretty crazy. I didn't know Matt was going to even make the corner, much less slide up in front of me. And then I didn't even realize he made contact with the 15 and about put him into the wall until I was coming out of 2. And I'm like, wait a minute, I've got kind of a run here. And then I had to make a split-second decision to either dump the 15 going into 3, not saying he wouldn't have deserved it, or try to pass him on the outside and not dump him. And I'm not trying to dump people. I get it, he's blocking for the win, but if I don't give him that break, he's going to be mad at me. If, you know, it's vice versa. If I do it to him, is he going to live for me? You know what I mean? I don't expect anyone to do that but myself, so try not to put myself in the blocking position if I don't have to. But I hate this track. They need to tear it down and just run the Legends Oval. I don't know. This track, I hate it. It's got like 12 different corners. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So second place is always a good feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely a very, very tricky track, and usually when I watch NASCAR race, whatever else, normally it's pretty good racing. It's pretty solid racing here at Charlotte, and I had a 200-lap race here last night in the NASCAR Cup Series cars, and here tonight in the trucks, and I think combined probably inching towards like 30 or 35 caution flags between the two races. So I've spent a lot of time here watching you guys under yellow and seeing a lot of tore up race cars here over the last couple of nights, and it seems like it is definitely very, very difficult and very hard to navigate and survive out there on the speedway, man. And just being able to keep yourself out of that, a lot of these issues, and keeping that truck from not getting destroyed out there on the racetrack seemed like a win in its own rights.
Yeah, the restarts were crazy tonight after stage because we only had 2 sets of tires. besides the ones we started with. I don't know. We gotta get some Cash App money, GoFundMe, something. We gotta get more tire donation money going or something. 2 tires it was hard to try to manage how long you're going to go on a set and when you're going to push. That's kind of what happened to me at the end. I was pushing the whole last like 30 some laps. I was trying to get every position I could, and that's whenever I made it up to second because everybody else was kind of just chilling. But yeah, the restarts were a little wild. I think it was the second caution we had after stage, the one that kind of piled them all up. It was right in front of me, and the smoke cleared, and I drove through a hole and somehow made it through. But I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. And anytime you can avoid the carnage out there on the racetrack and keep on battling out there on the speedway and then bringing yourself up here to almost into victory lane, man, it's a good thing at the speedway. And here you are in position number 2, another solid run and some more points in your back pocket heading in towards, midway through this season and inching closer and closer towards our playoffs here in the Metalheads Truck Series, man. It's got to feel good to be able to get another good finish, have that momentum kind of on your side after a few weeks of some solid runs out there on the racetrack, and hopefully, we see you try to pull it back up into victory lane next Monday.
Yeah, the first of the season didn't start right with us, so hopefully all this momentum just continues on to the end of the season.
Absolutely nothing but the best, brother, as Clinton, you come home in position number 2 here in this one, man. A bit of a heartbreaker, a disappointing second place run, but nonetheless a solid run out there on the racetrack, man. Who would you like to thank for a great performance here this evening?
Shout out to my girlfriend Megan. She's my #1 supporter. Blair Peterson, the Winning Bid Diecast. Can't thank him enough. He's supported me, and I've never even met the guy. I don't even know if he's heard me talk. I just watched his auctions a few times for like a year and then just randomly sent a message and said, hey, you want to sponsor me on iRacing? And he's been here ever since. So can't thank him enough. And you guys for putting on the stream, QH Design. I'm probably forgetting something. Full Throttle, Paints, and all my teammates, Dylan, Matt, Jimmy, Rusty, who wasn't here tonight. But all those guys and everybody who makes this thing go.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Clinton, great run. Solid drive here this evening, man, and we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack next Monday.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yep, you too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher here this evening. It's Clinton Woodby. Clinton coming home here in position number 2. Solid run, solid drive there for the 92 ride here this evening. Disappointing one for himself, though, as he ends up in second and not up into victory lane, as we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher. And I feel like this is going to be an interesting interview here, because for Joe Bennett, man, this is a heck of a run. He ends up being our hard charger in this race, up 23 positions. Started all the way back in 26, and that's virtually going from the doghouse to the penthouse here this evening. He's probably going to be pretty psyched about coming home in third here this evening. Let's get Joe up here into the booth. Hey, Joe, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Joe, man, what a run, what a race here for you. We saw you multiple times having some solid runs and driving yourself up into the top 5, top 3 there for a few times, and all of a sudden you get tied up or you fall back, and then here late in this race, right place at the right time, and you find yourself driving up into position number 3 here this evening, man. Take us back through this race and what it means for you to come home with such a great run here tonight.
Yeah, usually my plan is, to hang at the back, kind of let the carnage, get out of the way and kind of just find my way up there, try to save some tires. And I felt like I was doing a pretty good job of that tonight, just managing tires, trying to, make my way, just kind of cruise through. And then I got a couple cautions and got caught up in the middle of the pack and not where I want to be. I'm not I'm a rookie to this league, so I'm just trying to figure it all out and figure these guys out and how they race, but just try to be Mr. Consistent. I mean, my goal is to aim for a top 10 every night and try to grab as many points as I can. And I don't know what happened at the end here, but hey, I'm not going to complain at one bit, because that was a pretty crazy finish for me right there, coming to the line.
Yeah, absolutely. A very crazy finish here in this one. As out of corner number 4, you were kind of settled in, I think, back in about that 6th or 7th position. Then all of a sudden, a slew of drivers in front of you just start to absolutely destroy each other and wreck in there before the start-finish line. You're able to just head down to the inside and roll right on around them and pull yourself up into a podium finish here this evening, Joe. Man, what a run, what a drive, what a great performance here for you here this afternoon at Charlotte, man. Take us back kind of, through some of these caution flags. Obviously, they're very, very tough. They take a long time. It's a lot of time under yellow. You're just pacing behind the official iRacing pace car out there, man, and mentally it's gonna be pretty straining on you guys, being able to just trying to keep focused and trying to keep yourself mentally in this race. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna plan for that?
Hey, I'll tell you what, my teammates, that's how I do it under caution, because I love my guys I race with, man. Paul, Jason, Josh, Chuck, all these guys, man. I'm telling you, under caution, we're making each other laugh. We're talking strategy. We're staying focused. We go 1 to go. We're like, all right, guys, we gotta buckle up and make some moves here. And we talk each other up, man. It's really. I love my team. Plus EV Racing. I surround myself with my teammates, and I work off of their energy, and I feel like they, we try to help each other out. That's my number one goal, is to help my teammates and see what we can do.
Absolutely. Well, here tonight you're able to find yourself up and into position number 3 as teamwork makes the dream work. Joe, congrats on the 3rd place run here tonight, man. Is there anyone you'd like to thank and shout out here for such a strong performance out there on the racetrack?
Oh yeah, first I want to thank Metalheads and everybody that runs it. It's a great league. Like I said, I'm a rookie to the league. I enjoy racing here. These guys are pretty cool. Shout out to you, Peacemaker Gaming, for broadcasting every night, and being a enthusiastic broadcaster. My dad's watching out there. My dad loves you. He's like, man, this guy's funny, man. I love him. He's real energetic, so thanks. Shout out to Pops, and like I said, shout out to my team, Plus EV Racing. We stick together, man, and we try to pull each other up, and that's what it's about, man. It's out here having fun and with these guys. So I appreciate everybody that runs in the league.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Joe, congrats on the great run, man. Hopefully some momentum being built up here tonight for yourself and the team, and hopefully more and more trips for you up here into the broadcast booth, and hopefully one of these days up and into victory lane yourself.
Yes, sir. First time up here. I'll be back.
All right, brother. We look forward to it, Joe. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too. Thanks.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Joseph Bennett. Is Bennett coming home in position number 3 here this evening. Man, what a run, what a drive, and what a performance by each and every one of these competitors out there on the racetrack. As we are going to call it there on that note, man, we cannot thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming in, showing the love with the likes, the comments, the shares. We appreciate each and every single one of you, and we will see you guys back in here tomorrow night for some more amazing NASCAR truck racing, where you'll see a majority of these same drivers duking it out in our Tuesday night league with the HCK Beagles. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. Peace and love, baby. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen.
Mellow bass screaming, rubber birds on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war sounds, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lane. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my 6, but my grit don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Rivals on my 6, but my grit don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce come paint. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly. Nitrous things pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah! Never be screaming, rubber birds on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast maker, friction sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce come paint. Rivals on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce come paint. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly.